The defending 5A Division I state champion Smithson Valley Rangers head to Gustafson Stadium in northwest San Antonio for what should prove a fantastic early season matchup against perennial local 6A power, the Brennan Bears. Hector Ledesma alongside a man who needs no introduction in the Smithson Valley community and everywhere else, but we'll introduce you anyway because it is good broadcast etiquette. Brian Hill. And Brian, when we look at this matchup here, Brennan and Smithson Valley, two teams well regarded not only locally but around the state as well. For Smithson Valley, fantastic way to open the season against Roosevelt last week. Brennan also coming off a big win. They beat Reagan. And so when we look at the keys to this game, Brian, want to get your thoughts on what's going to be key for both squads.
We'll start down with Smithson Valley. I think, to use a phrase, poke the bear, I think you want to take your shots early on and try to stretch the field and test them a little bit. Really use that passing game, get the ball in some playmakers' hands on the outside to open up the run. A year ago, our passing game struggled a little bit, so they were able to add extra bodies in the box, and which really stifled our run game in the second half. So doing that, and then defensively for Smithson Valley, being able to contain the quarterback, number 7, Caden Glass. He's very dynamic, so keeping him in the pocket, not letting him scramble for big first downs. And then for Brennan, I think it's certainly can they contain the D-line of Smithson Valley. The front four D-line of Smithson Valley are very good. They're very strong, very powerful, which really allows them to get pressure on the quarterback without having to bring extra blitzes. And then for them defensively, it's stopping Pegler, stopping the run. Can they make Smithson Valley one-dimensional and make them throw it in passing-type situations and take away that run game? I think those are the keys for both teams.
Set for kickoff, Trent Amaya, who was very, very busy last week, extra points, 8 of them, and then the ensuing kickoffs for all of them set to get us going. And here we are underway, week number 2 between two big-time programs in greater San Antonio and beyond. Opening kick taken to right around the 20-yard line, just shy of it, and that's where the Bears will start 1st and 10. On a beautiful night, warm, hot today, but I read somewhere, Brian, that today's supposed to be the last 100-degree day of the summer, per the forecasters. Now, we know that the forecasters have sometimes a track record of their predictions not coming to fruition all the time, but maybe we're lucky enough that today was the last 100-degree day of 2025.
And it is warm out there. You mentioned it. So early in the season, not as good at conditioning. We'll see how both teams fare in the hot conditions.
Quarterback, Brian mentioned him, Caden Glass taking the snap, keeps, pass out to the flat, complete, first down yardage, 30-35. A big play on first down for the Bears, across midfield into Smithson Valley territory, and a penalty late.
Well, there's one back at pretty much the 29-yard line. Should be 2 holding calls, both on Brennan, and really unnecessary. They had Smithson Valley outnumbered out there, and right at the point of attack, Camacho was trying to come down and make a tackle. Receiver blocking him, held him, and then there's also one at the end of the play. But very good opening play for Brennan. Good scheme, zone read, and with the toss out there.
There were 2 holding penalties on the play, both against the offense. Holding against number 9 downfield. That penalty has been declined. Penalty holding against number 19 of the offense will be marked off 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Still first down.
We don't need the officials, Mike, when we got you up here, Brian. You called it. Exactly what you called is what they called. And so the Jay-Sean Mitchell big screen pass and then gain, all for naught. For Smithson Valley, the defensive line, Kay Libero, number 95, Kyle Bierman, number 90, number 99, Justin Roberts, number 92, Hudson Woods. A defensive line that, as Brian mentioned too, is very, very good and a strength, maybe the strength for these defending champion Rangers. The linebackers, Colton Hornsby, Jacob Stover, Devin DeToto, as Glass lines up in the usual shotgun here, set for 1st and long and whistles.
Timeout. Called by Brennan. 2 timeouts remaining in the first half of play.
All right, so with that, we're going to take our first break as well. 30 seconds into a game that should prove a lot of fun. Brennan, Smithson Valley, we're back right here on the Rangers Network.
We have
We would like to thank Chick-fil-A at Stone Ridge for sponsoring our Rangers. They are a huge part of our community and have Ranger athletes of their very own. Thanks, Chick-fil-A at Stone Ridge. The Rangers appreciate Jeremy Fuller State Farm's support year after year of our Smithson Valley athletes. If you need home, auto, insurance, and more, call Jeremy Fuller State Farm today. Our Smithson Valley athletes appreciate the branch for all of their support. They keep our hungry athletes fed and contribute towards scholarships and overall athletic needs year after year. The Rangers appreciate you. Smithson Valley Ranger athletes appreciate Christopher Ashley Pulls. Thank you for all of your support. They are a big part of our community and have their very own Ranger athletes. When you are ready to complete your backyard paradise, Christopher Ashley Pulls can bring your vision to life.
Gus Stadium, early break in the action. Brennan not liking what they saw, taking a timeout. 1st and 10 out their own 18 following a penalty that negated what would have been a big gain that got him into Ranger territory. Handoff on this first down. It's Mekhi Thompson with his first touch. Mekhi tough to bring down, getting past that first wave before the Rangers able to get him down after what appears to be about a gain of 5.
And that's something that the Smithson Valley is going to have to deal with all night. Had him stuffed in the backfield, but really tough run and able to get 5 yards.
Brennan hurries to the line. Glass, twins to each side. Mekhi Thompson to his left. Now Glass looking over, seeking direction here. 2nd and 4 officially as we go under 11 minutes here in this opening period. Snap. Glass keeps, effective with his feet as well as with the arm. But look at what Glass was able to do last season. He threw for more than 1,300, maybe nearly 1,400 yards last year, 1,385 to be exact, 14 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. But he also rushed for 693 yards. So a young man who can do it with both his arms and his legs. Brennan facing 3rd and 2 here with 10.5 minutes to go in the first.
Yeah, he's no doubt someone Smithson Valley is going to have to contain. That was a good job right there. Letting him, when he scrambles, he's deadly, but they had good contain there. So keeping him in the pocket all night is going to be a key for the Ranger defense.
Chance for Smithson Valley's D to get off the field here. Screen. Thompson. Well, that's going to be close. Look, Brian, look when he caught the ball that he had a clear lane in front of him. But credit that Ranger D and Colton Hornsby on closing that up in a hurry.
Yeah, and as a young, as early in the season, as the season goes on, he's going to know the down and distance, and he's just going to shove it up in there and know where the first down marker is. It looked like he tried to cut it outside and make a big play. And I'm sure on film tomorrow, Coach is going to say, hey, look, it's 3rd and short. We got to get that first down. Go ahead and just shove it up in there. But 4th and 1 now. I know you're deep in your own territory, but Rangers playing safe defense. Keep an eye out for that fake.
Hornsby making a big tackle there. Recorded 2 sacks last week in the opener against Roosevelt. 6 tackles total, 2 of them for loss. Set for what should be the first punt, barring a big fake and a big surprise. Penalty markers, though, before we get it. False start. So I think that pretty much nullifies any chance that maybe, as slim as that already maybe was, any chance that maybe the Bears were going to fake it.
Yeah, I think Coach Baser, he was thinking about maybe going for it. Took a little while to make his decision, and the play clock ran out. And so now it's 4th and 6 for sure punt.
Steve Baser, the head coach of Brennan, one of the more successful coaches in San Antonio over the last 15 years. Punt, high, fair catch, called for. Hunter Howe couldn't quite get to it, but no penalty. There's the flag. I was going to say, even though he was interfered with, I think the officials were initially going to say that maybe his own man ran into him, but maybe he was pushed into Hunter, and that's where the contact came.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. They're discussing, they're having a pretty long discussion. I think that's what they're talking about right now is was he shoved into by a Ranger? If he's blocked into the guy, then it shouldn't be a penalty on Brennan. So that's what they're talking about right now. Did he hit him on his own accord, or was he pushed and blocked into him?
Awaiting the official call. Here it comes.
There is no flag for kick-catch interference. The defender was legally blocked into the receiver, into the runs right here. First down.
So the Rangers will start their first possession in Brennan territory, the 49 to be exact. Ty Knutson, first year as a starting quarterback, though he played plenty last year in relief of Cade Spradling. 7 of 12 last week, 127 yards, a touchdown was Ty in his first official start for the defending champion Rangers. On the first snap, Caleb Peeler, the carry, comes around left, a good gain. About 5, maybe a little bit more depending on the spot.
Yeah, and for Brennan's defense, it all starts with number 0. Dede Toll-Free. That last name is probably recognizable. Anybody that's been around and pay attention to San Antonio area football feel like the Toll-Frees have been around for about 15 years at Brennan, and unfortunately for opponents, every one of them have been really good, but he wreaks havoc on the defensive line. Keep an eye on him, number 0.
Dede Toll-Free, he's hard to miss, goes 6'2", 235. On 2nd down and 5, Knutson rolling right goes that way. This time it's Sampson. Quinton, a nice job of getting out of bounds after he picked up the first down.
Yeah, 2 good plays. Good job getting Piegler in with a little outside zone on the first play. Good blocking. And then second one, getting the ball in Quinton's hands on a nice, easy throw by Ty, getting him in rhythm. Starting with great field position and picking up a first down in first 2 plays, just what the doctor ordered for Smithson Valley's offense.
And talking with Coach Larry Hill, they want to get the ball in Quinton's hands as many ways as possible. Last week, evident. 2 catches for 66 yards, 2 carries for 36 yards, also returned a punt for 26 more. Hunter Haug on the other side breaks the tackle, across the 30, and a second consecutive first down for the Rangers. Haug not going down easily, finally spun out of bounds, but not before a big gain.
Just an outstanding job by Haug. I mean, anytime you can throw a little 3-yard hitch right out there and you can pick up about 20 yards, then that's saying something. That really expands your offense a little bit. And Haug breaks 2 tackles there, races down the sideline, picks up about 20 yards. And that's really, we got in a 2-by-2 formation there. And if we can do that and spread them out, that's only going to help our run game down the road.
Sticking the Rangers 3 plays to go 32 yards. 1st and 10 at the Brennan 17. Knutson. Piegler bouncing it outside, breaking ankle tackles, brought down it right around the 15, though. Good pursuit and a tackle made there on the outside by number 18, Torian Robertson, who's getting the start in place of Time Todd, who moved over to free safety because Aiden Mart is missing. So some patchwork for the Brennan secondary, and the Rangers taking advantage early.
We need to capitalize inside the red zone here.
2nd down and 7 following the gain of 3. Ball's at the 14. Knutson with twins to his left. Sampson's in the slot. They give it to him. Coming around inside the 15, the 5. Sampson spinning his way to around the 10, maybe the 9.
Yeah, and a lot of times if you haven't followed Smithson Valley football in the last, 25, 30 years, people might say, oh, reverse. It's kind of a trick play or a wrinkle or something like that. That's as much as part of Smithson Valley's offense as some of the quick game or some of the run schemes. You're going to see that about probably 3 or 4 or 5 times tonight out of different formations with different guys. That's just another run play for them. And that time pick up a good game, getting a 3rd and short.
First 3rd down of the game. We're under 7 minutes to go for the Rangers. On 3rd and 2, Piegler up the gut. First down yardage across the 5 near the goal line. I think they're going to spot him down at the 2.
Just an outstanding job up front. Ran a little insert ISO with the fullback and great job blocking. They handled everybody in the box. Anytime the safety is the first one who makes contact, that means the O-line and fullback did their job getting a hat for everybody in the box, getting it all the way down to the safety for a big first down, and see if the Rangers can punch it in 1st and goal at the 2.
Fantastic start thus far for a Ranger program, taking part in, if there is a such thing as a game of the year this early in the season, this is one of those candidates. Brennan and Smithson Valley, powerhouses. Happy to bring this one to you. Piegler, Brown right side, fighting toward the goal line. There's the marker, and there is the signal. Touchdown, the Rangers get on the board first.
That's the 2nd time in that drive Smithson Valley got what was called an overset, where they overloaded one side, had a tight end and multiple receivers to one side. Brennan didn't adjust. They didn't roll any safeties down. So Smithson Valley had numbers both times, and I think one time was about a 6 or 7 yard gain for a first down, and then that one was a touchdown. I bet you Coach Baser is going to talk about that on the sideline, how to adjust to the overset.
Well, that was impressive. Got it with great field position, but then took advantage. Trent Maya, most of his extra points look exactly like that. Long and straight down the middle. 7-0 Smithson.
Every shoe they've ever worn has been black. That little voice they hear inside their heads is Coach Larry Hill. When asked their favorite color, they all agree it's always navy. They all believe that the baseball team, a certain law enforcement group, and the 4x4 side-by-side were all named after them. The only thing on their Christmas list is Whataburger gift cards. Each of them has officially changed their middle name to Smithson. When choosing their jersey number, they all answered anything but the number 1. They are the most Rangers in the world.
Stay Navy, my friend.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Jeremy Fuller State Farm, United Rentals, Lynx Roofing, Orthopedic Performance Institute, Frost Bank, The Branch, Chick-fil-A at Stone Ridge, Christopher Ashley Pools, Singer Services, Methodist Healthcare, and Wick Productions.
Well, we've talked a couple of times about how this is a fantastic matchup. Both these teams ranked statewide polls in terms of Max Preps giving them their props, both coming off season opening wins. For Smithson Valley, they're ranked 46. Brennan ranked 52nd. These two teams meeting last year in the second game of the season. The Bears getting the better of the Rangers 24-13 that night. Overall, they hold a 2-1 series advantage over the Rangers. One of the few teams across all of Texas that hold a series advantage against Smithson Valley is Amaya's kick. Caught for a fair catch at right around the 1. But again, in case you're not familiar, and most of you are, that does not mean they're taking over at the 1. They will get the ball at the 25. High school, fair catch anywhere, you get the ball at the 25-yard line.
Well, and we know with Amaya, if he wants to, he can put it through the uprights on the kickoff. But that's 2 times in a row, obvious part of the game plan, that they wanted to kick it just in front of the goal line and hope that they return it. And the first time they did and pinned him inside the 20-yard line, that time Brennan said, no, we're going to go ahead and fair catch it and take it out of the 25. So we'll see if the Ranger defense can go out there and do what they did in the first series and get a 3-and-out.
Caden Glass, quarterback for Brennan, going 8 of 12 last week, 129 yards, threw for 2 touchdowns, and had a pick. Handoff, though, here appears to be Mekhi Thompson. Thompson, as is so often the case, getting some work early. Give him 2, bring up 2nd and 8 from the 27-yard line.
And if you remember, this is how the game kind of started last year. Smithson Valley drove right down the field and scored on their first possession, and Brennan kind of settled in a little bit, started making some plays of their own. So hopefully Smithson Valley needs to keep the foot on the gas and keep it going.
There's Thompson again. Workhorse back for the Bears, a young man who, like Caden Glass, is also back as a big-time contributor for the Bears, rushing for 702 yards a year ago, 14 touchdowns. Every time he touched the ball, 7 yards per pop.
Yeah, last 3rd and short, they got him out on the move and threw the ball. I bet you this time they're going to keep it with a quarterback, would be my guess. Let him see if he can run up in there and get the first down.
And for the second straight possession, the Ranger D forcing Brennan into a 3rd down. This one is 3rd and 2 at the 33. First down yardage toward the 45, and the young man who got that big screen pass to start that was called back, Jay Sean Mitchell, getting the first down yardage this time around.
Yeah, creative play call by Brennan. Looks like there's no backs in the backfield, so if it is going to be a run play, it's going to be somewhere up the middle with the quarterback, but they bring a quick motion by one of their slots and hand it off to him, and Ranger defense got outflanked.
As you probably noticed early, Brennan working early, maybe a little bit of miscommunication there. Glass looking maybe RPO, but Mekhi Thompson had already taken up field. Either way, Glass getting a couple.
Yeah, we talked about it already a couple times. He is a difference maker, and a lot of times when you think a quarterback is as good of a runner as he is, he might be lacking in the passing game a little bit. That's certainly not the case with him. He can sling it as well, and so he's the dynamic playmaker we're going to have to keep contained tonight.
Last week, Glass running for 48 yards. He scored on the ground in addition to his 2 throwing touchdowns. It's Mekhi Thompson on the outside on this play. Not much there, that Ranger D getting there in a hurry.
Yeah, Stover, the outside linebacker, read it, and I think Hudson Woods was up in his face and made Glass throw it a little bit quicker than what he wanted to, so the ball kind of got on the receiver quickly, but Stover was there, hit him right as he caught it, now bringing up the first 3rd and long. The first 2 third downs Brennan has had has been 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, so this will be the first 3rd and long passing type situation for Brennan. So we'll see if Ranger defense dials up a blitz.
3rd and 7, we told you about Stover, Hornsby, and DeToto a little while ago. Hunter Hogg, Phillip Smith, Blayton Camacho, and Liam McGee, the secondary for the Rangers. 3rd down, pass across the middle, complete. Inside the 30, the 25, still on his feet. And the first completion of the afternoon for Donovan Laird, the leading receiver for Brennan, who returns.
And they're going to try to go quick and take advantage of a big play. But it was just a great job by Glass. Hudson Woods beat the D-end off, or beat the tackle and had pressure. He stepped up in the pocket, thought he was going to take off and try to run for it, but delivered a strike right over the middle for a bender for a huge gain.
At the 22 of the Rangers, Glass keeping, cross the 20. Stover there in on that stop.
Hornsby's holding the ball up, and we're trying to convince the refs that we got the ball, but probably after the play, but can't fault him for trying. But another good gain on first down. Glass running the ball.
Heck no. Heads up. Heads up play, you just never know, especially in a game where there's no instant replay. Always worth the shot. 2nd down and 6. They're going to give Glass 4 on that previous carry. Single receiver on this formation. He's got 2 backs with him, including Mekhi Thompson. Well, he kept. No, he did keep the Thompson. I was going to say, couldn't tell there for a second because of a sea of white jerseys if he gave or not, but Justin Roberts and several Ranger defenders there to foil that.
Yeah, it was kind of a zone read. He's technically reading the defensive end, but then Roberts beat his guy on the interior, so he just mesh charged and kind of went and just tackled both of them. And so Glass didn't really know whether to keep it or hand it, but I don't think it would have mattered. There's a lot of Rangers that got through and would have tackled either one of them. So big loss there, another 3rd and long.
In that 21-13 win against Reagan last week, Mekhi Thompson, 67 rushing yards on 16 carries. Play clock now nearing 5, 4, 3, 2. They got to snap it here. 1, there's 0. They barely got it off. Glass across, nearly intercepted and then caught.
Oh, my.
Well, the concentration, because that was tipped, and then Jalen Kelly able to haul it in.
Yeah, it went from pick to incomplete to a first down there. I don't know exactly. I think it was Stover got his hands on it, but tipped it right to the receiver.
It was Stover on 1st and 10, though. Big play for Caden Leak, making sure the Bears get no yardage on this play. So, again, Brennan offense moving very, very quickly. That Ranger defense responding there.
Yeah, we'll see. Smith Valley's done a good job early in downs, kind of holding them and giving up a few 3rd downs here. See if they can tighten up inside the red zone and hold them to a field goal try.
2nd and 10, the first quarter clock now under 105 and ticking. There's Thompson going right, cross the 5, big hit, stop there.
If you didn't know coming in, both these teams are very physical.
They are.
Both of them. And it's going to be a hard-hitting, hard-nosed football game tonight. Now that play was certainly an example of that. But here's another 3rd down.
Yeah, I saw Noah Johnson there near the tacklers. I don't think he's the one that delivered the huge hit, but Noah in on that. As Brian mentioned, 3rd and 3. They can't get the first down. They're at the 4. Thompson got the ball. Glass did not keep, and that Bear defense with the stuff on 3rd down. Here comes the special teams unit for the Bears.
Yeah, and it was another one of those looks like power read by the quarterback. He's reading the defensive end, and so it looks like defensive end kind of stayed upfield. He kind of wanted to keep it but didn't know. But by the time he made his decision, the ball carrier was getting tackled, and he turned around and looked like, man, I was supposed to keep that.
Left-footed kicker Axton Bada with a 25-yarder. It is through. And that is how quarter number 1 comes to an end. Both teams getting on the board, but it's Smithson Valley who got 7. The Rangers lead by 4. We're back with second quarter action, right here on the Rangers Network.
We're at a full media time.
A Lynx roof is the strongest roofing system. Even the strongest hits are no match for a Lynx roof.
Built to withstand the impact of the toughest storms.
That's right, our roofs protect the future of this community. Lynx Roofing, a proud gold sponsor of the Smithson Valley Athletic Program, because every season starts with a roof inspection.
United Rentals understands that your routine is never routine. That's why we stand in the same dirt, ready to help you work with unmatched equipment and expertise that turn worries into wins. So as the weather shifts, plans change, and project complexity increases, we stand united with you. United Rentals. Work united.
For the Rangers, it's always a team effort, but you look at the guys who've really, really played well in the early going and are going to continue to have to play well if the Rangers are to keep this early success going. Caleb Piegler scoring his 6th touchdown of the season already moments ago. Not bad way to start, right, Brian? He's played 5 quarters, not really 5 official quarters because he barely played in the second half of the season opening win against Roosevelt, but already 6 touchdowns, the 5 last week, the 1 this evening for Caleb Piegler. Braxton Sawyer, you look at Quinton Sampson, Hudson Woods, and Hunter Haug are impact players for Smithson Valley, all of them held in high regard, all of them playing well in the early season, especially Caleb Piegler.
Yeah, and Piegler, he's a very, very talented back, and as you know, played linebacker last year, but now he's getting his turn to dot the I, and he'll be the first one to tell you it takes really good blocking up front, but there's no doubt that he's made some moves and run through some tackles and seeing the holes. He's a special back, and looking forward to watching him the rest of the year and the year after that.
And, of course, mentioning Braxton Sawyer, making so much of that possible and opening gaps and holes for Mr. Piegler. The kickoff by the young man who just nailed the field goal, Axton Bada, landing for a touchback, so the Rangers will start at their own 25. Second opportunity with the ball in a game in which they got out to a good lead. You mentioned, Brian, similar started last year. You know, in that Smithson Valley came out and scored on its first opportunity. Of course, that a game the Bears did come back to win, so hoping that things go differently this time around, so we'll see what happens here on possession number 2.
I think the key is going to keep getting the ball outside the playmaker's hand to open up the run. Maybe take a shot downfield here with Haug or Q. See if we can, looks like right now.
Knutson looking slant. There's Haug, cross the 45, midfield. Hunter's got a lane. Hunter's got the 20. Hunter's got a touchdown. Smithson Valley 75 yards on its first play of the second quarter.
He's fast. He's fast. And what a ball by Ty. It was kind of a clear out with the inside guy, little twins, kind of like a little spear route. Inside guy clears it out. Outside guy kind of comes underneath him off his wake, and it was perfect timing and a perfect ball by Ty. And when you hit Haug or Q in stride, there ain't a whole lot of guys in the 2-1-0 that's going to catch him. And that time there was about 3 Bears that you thought maybe you're going to make the tackle, and he just pulled away from him. And so incredible play, good play call. Only downside is after a long drive, defense doesn't get much break now.
Amaya's extra point is true. Fireworks here to start the second quarter, 11:45 remaining. That first play taking just 15 seconds. You know, Brian, it's funny. I think if the common high school football fan, even a knowledgeable high school football fan here in Greater San Antonio would say, there's few teams in the area that have better athletes generally than Brennan. I think the Rangers saying, oh, yeah, here in the early going, especially when you see Hunter Haug take a slant like that and go half the field outrunning several fantastic Brer athletes on the way to doing it.
Brennan is very talented, but that's not to say that Smithson Valley isn't that talented and don't have the athletes as well. You know, Smithson Valley, I feel like on both sides of the ball does a good job of highlighting and really, you know, getting those guys in situations to make plays, and that was a perfect example right there. Haug is a full-time starter at corner, and he comes over much like P.K. Miller did last year, playing all the snaps on defense, lockdown corner. Now he comes over and gives you explosive plays on offense as well. And so just a special player and only a junior. Him and, you know, him, Ty, and Piegler are all just juniors. And so look for more explosive plays in the years to come.
Hunter with 2 catches, 12 yards in the opener, 75 yards on his first touch tonight. Touchback, so the Bears will get it at their own 25. And I think you're going to hear that word a lot tonight, I think. Touchback.
If he wants to. That's the thing with him. He's kicking it, and those PATs, he's kicking it like he's mad at it. I mean, that thing cleared the fence on the opposite side of the track. And a little side note, I'm sure we can't look it up, but at the same time, I don't know if I've ever seen a game where both teams' kickers are left-footed.
Ooh, excellent observation. Yeah, that's true.
Little trivia there for you.
That is true. By the way, speaking of Trent Amaya, I want to get to something Coach Larry Hill said about him that I thought is the ultimate praise. Here's Glass on 1st and 10, keeps on the RPO, goes outside, that pass complete.
Great throw.
Toward the sideline, it's Torian Robertson, who's getting the start at corner but also plays receiver for these Bears, gets a first down catch on 1st and 10. Again, in a hurry. Glass rolling to his right this time. Again looking for Roberson, but couldn't quite connect this time. Actually, that's 19, not 18, excuse me. So the incomplete pass as Glass was looking opposite side, this time intended for Jaden McClellan.
Yeah, he's going to be disappointed with that throw. But going back to that first down, it's a play action, rolling to his left. He's got a guy right in his face. He's got to stop, flip his hips, flip his shoulders, and throw about a 14-yard out route, and he just puts it on a rope. That was a very impressive throw on first down.
2nd and 10 at the 38. Split receivers. McClellan in motion. The give to Thompson. Started right, then cut it up. Crossed the 40, but barely, so they're marking down at the 41. Bring up 3rd and 7, Brian, I'm sorry.
3rd and long, and Haug's coming back on the field. He got a little 2 or 3 play break after the 70-yard sprint, but 3rd down, passing type situation. Definitely want him on the field, both him and McGee, excellent corners. See if we can contain him on 3rd and long.
Hug, one of several defensive starters returning from the state champion a year ago. It's a defense that has loads of talent, including Hudson Woods up front. On 3rd and 7, Glass looking now out of trouble. 45 cross midfield into Ranger territory and a first down. And that's the thing with Caden Glass, Brian, is even when you've got him contained, players like him often find a way.
Yeah, if you ask a defensive coordinator, I don't care at any level, whether it's middle school, high school, college, pro, what's your biggest fear? It's going to be a mobile quarterback who, when you do everything right, you have the perfect coverage, you got a great pass rush, even if you QB spy him, he can still get out of it and make a conversion on 3rd and long. It's a defensive coordinator's worst nightmare.
At the 44 of the Rangers, Glass looking right, now in trouble, and then taken down a quarterback sack. There's penalty markers as Kyle Bierman got him behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they're going to call a face mask. From up here, it didn't. I mean, I don't know. I don't have a zoomed-in replay, but it looked like kind of got him in the side of the head. But anytime they go up by that head area, they're going to call. So I don't know whether it's going to be a personal foul to the head or a face mask. Yeah.
Number 90 of the defense.
Yeah.
A penalty being forced 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
And that wasn't necessarily. I mean, it was a great move by Bierman to get around the edge and get pressure on him, and he was trying to wrap him up, and right at the last second, Glass kind of ducked down to try to get underneath the sack, and that's when his kind of dropped his face down to hand level. So inadvertent there, obviously a big penalty, but can't fault the effort for Bierman. Got in the backfield, made a great move to get there.
Brennan now with the 29, courtesy of the penalty. Glass shotgun, twins to his right, comes this way in the slot, and that's where he finds again McClellan. Been busy on this drive. 3rd time they've targeted him. 2nd time he's caught the ball.
And it's a good offensive game plan by Brennan, running the ball effectively. They've run the ball well enough with both their back and their quarterback. Smithson Valley, a lot of times those little short passes right there, their answer to that is to play cover 2 and sit their corner down there and wait for those type of plays. But when you do that, both safeties are pedaling out and they're not there for the run support. Brennan's running the ball so well that we feel like we got to have our safeties in the box to help stop the run. And so they're dinking and diming, throwing those short passes right now.
On 2nd and 4, Glass going. Met there, though, at the line of scrimmage and then pushed back.
I just feel like it's a train wreck at every collision on both sides of the ball.
It is.
I mean, they're hard hitting going on from both sides down there. It is a physical football game, and I feel like every time Brennan gets in the 3rd down, these are long drives early in the season when it's hot. They've been able to convert on a few, but let's see if they can do it here. 3rd and 5.
Caleb Barrow in on the stop. 3rd and 5. Big chance for the Ranger D here to put the Bears in a tough spot at the 24-yard line. Glass, Thompson, scooting his way toward the 20, but he didn't get there. He needed the 19, maybe just beyond the 20, and he got to the 20. So shy of a first down.
Yeah, they're going for it.
And on 4th and what would be officially 1, but probably 4th and less than a yard, as Brian said, the Bears offense making some substitutions as opposed to coming off the field.
Getting some bigger bodies in there. Yeah, they're thinking, hey, we haven't stopped Smithson Valley in 2 drives. We've gotten two drives inside their territory and only come away with 3 points. We can't do field goals anymore. We've got to go for this. I think it's the right call.
4th and 1 at the 20. Big play early. Glass. And then around right, a first down. Thompson across to 15. and brought down there, but not before he picks up a huge first down for the Bears.
Yeah, and a great open field tackle by Phillip Smith. You know, moving from his linebacker position, played linebacker last year, moved back to his home at safety, and those tackling skills are paying off. It looked like he had a crease, and that thing was going to be an easy touchdown, and Phillip Smith made a great open field tackle. Got a first down, but at least kept him out of the end zone, see if we could stiffen up inside the red zone.
Smith, the senior, who, as Brian mentioned, goes wherever he's needed. Glass pass toward the goal line, complete and then out of bounds, near first down yardage. The Bears might have first and goal by the time this thing is spotted.
And just another outstanding pass. Great coverage. He just dropped it in a bucket right over the linebacker, just with enough air to not get tipped, but on a rope enough where the safety couldn't get there. And he threaded the needle on that. Just another impressive throw by Glass.
Donovan Laird, his second catch of the night. First and goal at the 2. Glass coming right. Lets it go. Touchdown, Brennan, their first of the night. Again, it's Laird, his second consecutive catch. Good for the first touchdown of the night for Brennan.
And just an impressive drive. They were able to cap it off this time. You know, Smithson Valley defense a little bit. They've been on the field a lot. You know, I think Smithson Valley's offense, their first drive was maybe 6 plays and then 1 play. So Smithson Valley's defense has been on the field a lot. They're going to go over there on the bench and get a well-earned break and hopefully get ready for the next drive. But good drive by Brennan there to make it 14-10.
Extra point for Axton Butta is good. When we come back, Smithson Valley back on offense. They're 2 for 2 in terms of touchdowns scored on offensive possessions. Gustafson Stadium, a good one early between the Rangers and the Bears.
Full media timeout.
The oak tree is a symbol of power, strength, and stability. For Kamau ISD, it represents a motto of growing greatness. From the nurturing of our youngest learners in pre-K to cultivating our expanding career and tech ed programs, we create opportunities for students to help them thrive for a lifetime. As superintendent of Kamau ISD, I am proud to see our families, our teachers, and our neighbors working together. There is a power in the community that supports its schools. Together, we are growing greatness.
A Lynx roof is the strongest roofing system. Even the strongest hits are no match for a Lynx roof.
Built to withstand the toughest storms.
That's right, our roofs protect the future of this community. Lynx Roofing, a proud gold sponsor of the Smithson Valley Athletic Program, because every season starts with a roof inspection.
Are you sure you don't want to go to the movies, Abuela?
Mijo, I love you, but I prefer the classic movies. You go, have a good time. What's this?
Just come with me.
Oh, ay, mijo.
Your choice, Abuela.
GVTC, connecting you.
Gustafson Stadium in San Antonio, a game that has been very, very fun early between two of the better teams in Greater San Antonio. Brian Hill, Hector Ledesma here to bring you the action as the Rangers get the ball up 14-10, and Hunter Haug is going to bring it out.
If he can get the edge. Oh, it was close. Risky move bringing it out, but if he gets around that last guy, they had a wall set up over there, but Rangers are going to have by far their worst field position of the game inside the 10-yard line, starting at the 7.
It's a game in which the Rangers have scored touchdowns on their first 2 possessions. The Bears, forced into a punt early, have since answered with a field goal and then a touchdown of their own in a game that already through a quarter and not even a half of another quarter has featured several big plays.
Yeah, and you wouldn't really think that when you think of Brennan and Smithson Valley. First thing that come to mind is a defensive battle, 2 primetime defenses, but both offenses looking sharp right now. See if the Rangers can at least get a couple first downs, get out of the shadow of their own goalpost.
Ball's at the 7. Knutson to Piegler. Off the handoff, look at Caleb. Making some moves, looking to cut it back inside. And brought down, but not until he gained a couple of yards.
Looked like we're going to have the edge there, but it was great closing speed by the linebacker. I believe that was number 2, Tim Cummings. He kind of forced Piegler back to the inside. He did a good job of making a miss, and it was a heck of a run just to get 2 yards there, but looked like we initially had the edge, but good job Brennan defense closing and forcing it back inside.
Tim Cummings, the will linebacker for these Brennan Bears. Piegler, 126 yards to go with those 5 touchdowns in that big win against Roosevelt last week. And that, mind you, incomplete here. Mind you, he didn't play at all really in the second half. That 126 came basically in 24 minutes.
Yeah, a little bootleg there. Had him open. Defensive end gets his hands up and bats the ball down. But if he's able to complete that, he's going to get an easy first down and more. So good job by the Brennan defense of getting their hands in the air. But definitely probably going to circle that one and come back to it because there was 2 guys open on that bootleg.
So now the first 3rd and long of the night for the Ranger offense. 3rd and 8 is what they're facing from their own 9. Knutson has twins to his right. He's got Hunter Hogg solo here on our side of the field. Going to Hunter. Deep ball overthrown.
Yeah, tried a little double move down here, and Hunter, good job by the corner, number 18 for them, was that Tarlin Robinson. He kind of squatted on it, and Howe jumped inside instead of outside. Knutson thought he was going to go to the outside and kind of threw him towards the sideline, hoping to fade to it. But Hunter took the path of least resistance to the inside there and looked like a little bit of a miscommunication, but it was a little double move and had a chance there. Just Hunter went inside and the ball was outside.
Rangers perhaps seeing a matchup they liked. Robertson pressed into starting duty because he normally backs up. Time Todd at that cornerback spot. Time is starting at free safety for the injured Aiden Martin. Here's the punt for Amaya. Yes, he handles punting duties as well. Takes a Smithson Valley bounce. Going to die it right around the 48 of the Rangers Brennan will start with, I believe, Brian, this is easily their best field position, which stands to reason, right? The Rangers started with their worst, failed to get a first down, and now Brennan's going to get its shot in very good position.
Yeah, Brennan just kind of did the Smithson Valley playbook that they've done for so many years. Pin them deep on the kickoff, get a 3-and-out, force a punt, and then have great field position for the Ranger or for the offense.
Immediate timeout.
Now Brennan coming off a touchdown drive of their own. They're going to start with their best field position.
We're going to step aside. Timeout on the field. 6:40 remains in the first half. The Brennan Bears down by 4 with the ball. We're back after this.
We would like to thank Chick-fil-A at Stone Ridge for sponsoring our Rangers. They are a huge part of our community and have Ranger athletes of their very own. Thanks, Chick-fil-A at Stone Ridge. The Rangers appreciate Jeremy Fuller State Farm's support year after year of our Smithson Valley athletes. If you need home, auto, insurance, and more, call Jeremy Fuller State Farm today. Our Smithson Valley athletes appreciate the branch for all of their support. They keep our hungry athletes fed and contribute towards scholarships and overall athletic needs year after year. The Rangers appreciate you. Smithson Valley Ranger athletes appreciate Christopher Ashley Pulls. Thank you for all of your support. They are a big part of our community and have their very own Ranger athletes. When you are ready to complete your backyard paradise, Christopher Ashley Pulls can bring your vision to life.
Bears on 1st and 10. Caden Glass in trouble and then sacked.
Fumble.
And the ball is loose.
Ooh, I think they got it. Glass took a hard hit, though. I think his helmet came.
We have an official's timeout for a defense off.
Tell you what, they tried to take a shot after seize the momentum after a touchdown drive and then getting the ball in a short field. They tried both little outside receivers kind of pretend like they're just blocking and go deep. Ranger defense in the secondary stayed home, and Glass had nowhere to go. Pressure eventually got there, and big sack to open the drive.
That Ranger front 4 creating havoc again. Glass this time keeps on 2nd and 13, gets past the original line of scrimmage, but not beyond it, not much beyond it at least, maybe a yard. So 3rd and 9 for the Bears after Smithson Valley just faced a 3rd and 8.
And I can't tell you how impressed I am with Glass. He's not the biggest guy out there in stature, but he runs tough. He's not necessarily trying to make guys miss all the time. He's sticking it up in there, and he is deadly with that arm. He's been very impressive so far.
Glass goes 5'8", 165. Rolling to his right. Hudson Woods had a shot at him, made a miss. Does not make a second Ranger miss. Colton Hornsby
Yeah, it was a great play. Initial pressure by Woods getting up the field and forcing Glass not to be able to get to the edge but have to duck underneath. And then Hornsby on a little scrape rush by the linebacker position comes up with a big sack. And as we've seen, it ain't easy getting him down with the first tackler. Wraps him up and takes him to the ground. And so huge stop by the Ranger defense after what felt like Brennan was about to get that momentum back after scoring and getting on a short field. Great stop by the Ranger D.
Hornsby, his third sack of the season. Moving to middle linebacker with the graduation of Cade Spradling, who, yes, remember, for those of you who didn't follow the Rangers, it was a fair catch, but no, there's the penalty. I was going to say, I saw Hunter signal for the fair catch, and then he got hit, waiting for the flag. But continuing the thought on Colton Hornsby there, moving to middle linebacker with Cade Spradling, who Ranger faithful don't need to be reminded, but for any of you who maybe didn't follow Smithson Valley game in and game out, yes, Cade, the starting linebacker, in addition to starting at quarterback on that state championship run last year.
Play for kick-catch interference.
Yeah, Cade he did everything.
First down.
Offense, defense, special teams. He was a workhorse for us, obviously, but then, got other guys filling in this year. Hornsby moving to the mic, and got some other guys filling in, and so far so good. Ranger defense looking like they always do, very stout, but that's the second time right there on a punt where they waved off the flag saying that the defender was blocked into the returner there. So no flag on the play. Rangers got the ball at about 23-yard line.
The first time I saw what could have easily been a block into the returner, this time I'll be honest, I didn't see a whole lot of white jerseys around outside of Hunter Haug, as there's an incompletion there on 1st and 10. Knutson looking in the direction of Sampson. Now, that doesn't mean that there wasn't any white jerseys. I'm not saying the official's wrong. In real time, I just didn't see a whole lot of Smithson Valley special teams players around the football there.
Yeah, I didn't really see it either, but I guess it was there. And on first down, tried a little sprint out and get the ball out in Quentin's hands quick. Good coverage. Had underneath and over the top coverage by Brennan's secondary outside linebacker. Number 12, Jalen Garner, did a good job getting out underneath that. And so see if we can hit something over the middle, expose him for getting so wide.
2nd and 10, Knutson looking over the middle, now rolling to his right, lets it go, pass complete, across the 25, across the 30. Brody Wick with his first completion of the night.
That was a great job by Brody. Initially, nothing was really there. Ty does a great job of getting out of the pocket, and then Brody kind of settles in the window between the corner and safety and finds a spot and gets open for his quarterback on a scramble drill. And it was a great conversion to get a first down to kind of get a little bit of breathing room. So big first down there. Great play by Ty and great play by Brody.
Brody, 2 catches, 22 yards in the victory against Roosevelt last week. Giving the Rangers a first down in his first catch of the night. Piegler around right side near the 35 before he's brought down by the ankles at right around the 34.
Again, Brennan just really good job at tackling. It was blocked pretty well up front, and you're thinking, here we go. And obviously Caleb is a load to bring down, but great inside-out tackle wrapping up around the legs there. Still a pretty decent gain on first down, picking up 3, but right when that thing broke the line of scrimmage, you thought it was going to be more than 3 yards.
Brody Wick here on the near side, 2 receivers to the far side. The snap, the hand to Piegler again. Nice little hole up the gut, first down yardage for Caleb Piegler.
And again, we talked about it before the game. Getting some success early in the passing game is really opening up. We've thrown the ball a number of times, really good balance with the play calling. We've had success in the passing game, and so those outside linebackers are a little bit wider. Those safeties are just a hair deeper. And now our running game is able to get to the 2nd and 3rd level without a safety sitting at 7 yards. And so I think it's going to be critical as the game goes on to continue that balance just to keep the Brennan defense from stacking the box.
We talked about Hunter Haug throughout the night, playing defense last year and continuing to play defense this year. Let's not forget about Piegler, same thing. Mainly a defensive guy a year ago. With Brad Sowersby, such an effective ball carrier for the Rangers. But Piegler again getting the carry and proving through these first 6 quarters of the season to be the workhorse the Rangers hope he will be in 2025.
He will be. He's been the dude for his grade and above for a long time, and he needed to fill in at Mike linebacker last year, and he did a phenomenal job, and now it's his turn to tote the rock. And as you already mentioned, he's got 6 touchdowns in about 5 quarters, so he's definitely doing his part.
2nd down, and let's call it 8, 3 receivers for Knutson. He's got Piegler behind him. Gives it to him. Piegler almost broke a tackle, but you're right, a fantastic tackle there And if not for that, Kabler, by Jonas Brewster there, Piegler has himself a nice little gain, probably another first down.
Yeah, it looked like a great job O-line washing everything down, kind of hit it out the backside. You thought, here we go. And it was great closing speed by Brewster coming from his linebacker on the gap exchange. And, again, it's hard taking him down. Much like Glass and the running back for Brennan, it's hard to get tackled just by one guy. But both defenses right now are making some great open field tackles on some really talented running backs.
Briley Bowman, the left tackle for the Rangers. Cannon Wheeler, the left guard. Kyle Gugliotta moving over from guard is now the center. Pass incomplete, intended for Brody Wick. Good defense by the Bears, though. Torian Robertson there defensively.
Yeah, a little flood route, had a fullback out in the flat, did a good job covering that. Brody does a good job on his little 10-yard out route and kind of settles down in a window. Pretty tough throw by Ty, has to get it over the flat defender. Much like we talked about Glass earlier, get it over the flat defender, but with enough juice before the safety gets there and just out of the reach. We got a punt, but it's a pretty decent job getting a couple first downs, giving your defense a little bit of a breather and hopefully a chance to flip the field here, punt them deep, and get a long field for Brennan.
4th and 5 at their own 48. Running down the rest of that Ranger offensive line, I should say. Clinton Goss, the right guard. Aiden Verrett, the right tackle. Here's Amaya back, whistles as he takes the snap.
Prior to the snap, delay a game against the offense. 5 yards, 4th down.
And that'll get Coach Hill a little hot right there. Anytime it's a self-inflicted wound, not happy, okay, you think it's 5 yards, they're going to punt anyways. But that's potentially 5 yards off the net punt average right there, and we want to pin him as deep as we can.
So now Amaya standing at his own 32. Boots it off that left foot. Taking it right around the 15 to 20.
Great
Fantastic
coverage.
Special teams play, absolutely. And that brings us to the
We have
2-minute
official
warning.
timeout
Yep,
for the
new in high school
2-minute
football. You probably saw it
timeout.
last week. You've probably seen it in other games that have taken place so far in 2025. We'll keep it right here, so close to the half. Brian, I want to get your
timeout
thoughts
as well.
here on the generally here, the first half. I think we saw both teams get off to quick starts offensively. And since then, both defenses kind of getting into a groove and getting the better of the offenses here. But your general thoughts here on the first 22 minutes of this ball game?
I think it's gone exactly how I thought it was going to go, and how a lot of people that know these two programs know that it's a physical, two really good football teams, two really well-coached football teams. The Brennan staff does a phenomenal job. They're always sound. They're always in the right place. They always have good schemes. And so I knew it was going to be a tight ball game. It was last year, and, Brennan, they're ranked, 1 or 2 in the city in 6A for a reason. And so it's going about but as you mentioned, kind of started out hot, but then both defenses have kind of settled in a little bit. And it's kind of been a tale of the offenses in the first quarter, defenses in the second quarter. But this drive right here I think is big for both teams. Brennan's down 4. They've gotten some momentum the last couple offensive drives. Smithson Valley gets the ball coming out in the second half. If Smithson Valley defense can get another stop here and take the lead going into half, they got to feel pretty good knowing that they're getting the ball coming out in the second half.
The Brennan game last year and the second game of the regular season, one of only 2 games the Rangers lost all of last season on the way to that 5A Division I state championship. On 1st and 10, the hand appears to be Makai Thompson.
And I'll be curious to see if Brennan goes quick here. The typical deal is let's see if we can get a first down first, and then we'll get into our 2-minute drill. But we don't want to go so fast and go 3 and out and give the other team a chance to have some time left in the clock. So they're not in too much of a hurry right now, but I would imagine that would change if they get a first down. They'll start hurrying it up a little bit.
The clock now under 1:30. Glass with twins to each side. He's got Thompson behind him to his right. Now they look toward that sideline.
And they're going to take a timeout. Brennan.
That's the second timeout they've taken.
Timeout called by Brennan. Brennan has 1 timeout left in the first half of play.
So 1 remaining here before we head to the locker room. Let's step aside when we come back. The final minute 17 of half number 1. The Rangers on top of Brennan 14-10. The Bears, though, have the ball.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Jeremy Fuller State Farm, United Rentals, Lynx Roofing, Orthopedic Performance Institute, Frost Bank, The Branch. Chick-fil-A at Stone Ridge. Christopher Ashley Pools. Singer Services. Methodist Healthcare and Wick Productions.
2nd down and 7 following a Brennan timeout. They do have one remaining, and we point that out because they have the ball at their own 25 with just 1:17 remaining before the intermission in a game that Smithson Valley leads 14-10. Screen, Makai Thompson toward the 35 and the 40. Makai staying in bounds toward the 45, beyond it as a matter of fact, and a big gain to get a first down for the Bears.
Yeah, they're in a compressed set and then motioned a receiver across the formation, kind of got into a 3-by-1 and caught Smithson Valley not adjusting quite quick enough so they were able to get the edge, pick up first down. Now I would imagine that they would start hurrying up a little bit, get more into their 2-minute drill now that they've gotten that first down.
Glass looking right, takes off near midfield, crossed it as a matter of fact, into Ranger territory. They're at the 49.
Yep, here they go. They're trying to get lined up quick, trying to do their 2-minute drill.
Clock 55 and ticking. 2nd and 5. Glass to his right, running out of real estate, out of bounds.
Good heads-up play there by Glass. Getting to the sideline. Good. It's a good minute. It's a good 2-minute play call right there. Pretty safe. Get your athletic quarterback on the move. If you got somebody open for a first down, great. If not, he can continue running. Maybe pick up a few yards, but get out of bounds and save that last time out.
Devin DeToto forcing Glass out of bounds before Caden could get near first down yardage. So 3rd and 3 and a chance for the Rangers here to get their offense another shot. Up the gut, it's Makai. And Thompson is gone, 47 yards.
Had a miscommunication there. Hit him right up the gut. Defensive end typically on a zone read with the tackle blocks down. Defensive end closes and forces the quarterback to keep it. And linebacker scrapes over the top. That time, defensive end stayed outside and the linebacker went outside. So I don't know if that was an adjustment that they're making to try to send the end up the field to make the quarterback hand it off because the quarterback's been doing such a good job running. But either way, defensive end and linebacker weren't on the same page. They both ended up out in the C gap and left the B gap wide open.
Axton Bada booting the extra point through, and the Bears take their first lead of the ball game. The Rangers went on top 7-0 before Brennan answered with a field goal. Then it was 14-3 Smithson Valley, courtesy of a 75-yard touchdown pitch and catch from Ty Knutson to Hunter Haug on the first play of the second quarter. Since then, it's been 14 straight for the Bears, a 2-yard touchdown from Caden Glass, and now the 47-yarder from Makai Thompson to bring us to where we are right now.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We got about 40 seconds left, and I believe Smithson Valley has all their timeouts left. I don't think that they've used any.
Yep, they have all 3.
I think how aggressive they get is going to depend on the return here. I think if they get good field position and get out towards the 40-yard line, they might take one shot, and if they pick up a big chunk, now we can start using our timeouts. But if the first play is not very successful, then let's just go ahead and take it to the house, knowing that we get the ball coming out in the second half.
Brennan, like Smithson Valley, only lost 2 games last year. Lost the opener to Reagan. That kickoff into the end zone through, so touchback. And the Rangers will get it with 39 ticks left before the half at their own 25.
Number 90, Smithson Valley needs to come off, sit at one play.
So I guess Kyle Bierman's helmet came off. Is that what I'm gathering from this?
That's the second time it's come off. Needs to maybe at halftime tighten up that chin strap a little bit. We can't afford to have him off the plays. Luckily, we're going to offense, so he wouldn't be out there anyways. But yeah, I think this first play, Smithson Valley might take a somewhat conservative of a pass. And if they're able to get a first down and get out of bounds and things like that, then they might try to, hurry things up and see if they can give Amaya a shot. But if the first play or 2 is not successful, might just take it in.
Yeah, finishing a thought on Brennan. They lost their opener a year ago to Reagan. Didn't lose again until their season was over at the hands of Austin Westlake in the second round. Big sack, the ball's loose. And Brennan gets the ball back, and they still got 33 seconds. And they're going to be in fantastic position at the 21-yard line of the Rangers.
And that's exactly what you didn't want to happen right there. It's kind of a worst nightmare, giving it over right before half, knowing you get the ball back. Great pass rush. Ty didn't see it. He was looking down to the left-hand side, and it was just a great pass rush. Let's see if the Ranger defense, after just having a long drive and only a short break, see if they can hold tight here and limit them to a field goal. Again, 33 seconds left, and I think Brennan still has that timeout left.
Appears to be Jaden Johnson who got the big hit there. A sack last week in the win against Reagan, 11 tackles total, so he's a big play guy for that Bears defense. 1st and 10 at the 21. Glass looking over the middle, in trouble. Hudson Woods able to get to him. The SMU commit with his first sack of the night.
Coach Baser's going to take his last timeout. Big sack by Hudson there. Not only loss of yardage on the play, but kind of stems some of their momentum and makes them use their last timeout.
Game clock operator.
I'll tell you what, it's getting scrappy down there. Both sides finishing blocks, finishing plays to the echo of the whistle. Not necessarily to the whistle, to the echo of the whistle. But that was a big play right there.
That Hudson's second sack of the young season, recorded 3 tackles last week, 2 of them for loss, as the Rangers opened 2025 with a 62-6 victory against Roosevelt. Second straight year in which they knocked off the Rough Riders to open the season. And as we've mentioned throughout the night, the second straight year in which they're facing Brennan in the second week of the season. And so when we get back to play, the Bears will have 26 seconds. As Brian alluded to, no more timeouts remaining. They are at the Smithson Valley 24, so time not as much an issue. Of course, it can end up being an issue, but they have 24 yards to go. And with the way their kicker, Axton Pata, has kicked it, you would think they don't have far to go to get him to his range comfortably.
Yeah, and a field goal would be a huge win for the Ranger defense here. Obviously, Brennan starting so deep in their territory. It'd be a big win to hold them to just a field goal.
If they don't gain another yard and they try a field goal, it'll be 41 yards. There's the snap. Everybody off guard. Thompson, touchdown!
It's illegal.
No penalty markers.
Little trick play there. Nobody looking. People standing up and looking around and things like that, trying to catch the defense off guard, and they did. If the O-lineman puts their hand in the ground, they can't stand back up. That's a false start, but maybe they didn't put their hand in the ground. I don't know, but worst case scenario there for Smithson Valley. 14 points given up in the last minute of the half, and what you thought was in control for the first half of the ball game, up 14-3. All of a sudden you're heading into halftime down 24-14 in just the last minute or two of the half. But, yeah, a little creative trick play there. Everybody just kind of standing, making it look like we're about to call a timeout, or we're confused or something like that. Then a quick snap and a fade. Had 2 guys there, but it was, again, just a perfect ball by Glass. Had good coverage with the corner and safety help over the top, but he dropped it in the bucket.
The officials are discussing something.
After the ball was declared ready for play, and before unsportsmanlike conduct, number 58 of the kicking team. That penalty will be enforced 15 yards here on the try.
So the extra point for Axton Pata now essentially becomes a 35-yard field goal attempt. 23-14, 19 seconds left. The Bears have scored 21 or 20 at this point unanswered.
Missed it.
And it's still 20.
It dinked off the left upright and kicked left, and so that could come back to be a big penalty there. I didn't see what happened. By number 50, the call was on 58 of Brennan. I don't know what happened to cause that, but obviously much longer PAT attempt, and they ended up missing it. So instead of a 10-point game, it's a 9-point game. We'll see if that makes any difference down the road.
Well, we mentioned the 20 straight points for the Bears. That includes 14 in the last minute or so. And as Brian mentioned, this game is completely reversed. Rangers at one time on top 14-3 very early in the second quarter. And the Bears have come back. Well, they took that lead 14-3 early in the second quarter. It was still 14-3 until about a minute ago. And then since then, it's been Brennan who's fought back with 14 of those 20 unanswered.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a time to panic, obviously. Only down 9, 2-possession ball game, and Smithson Valley gets the ball coming out of second half. It's just uncharacteristic mistakes, late in the second half that have kind of taken a tight ball game or slight advantage into a 2-possession ball game. And so we'll see if we can get a return here if he kicks out of the end zone.
Sampson, about a yard deep, is going to bring it out. Sampson's got a lane. There's a marker. Flag on the field.
I feel like I've said it a lot tonight. We're so close. We're, one away. Like, if that guy doesn't make the tackle, I know there's a penalty, and now it's going to come back. But
block in the back against number 10 of the return team. That penalty being forced half the distance from the spot of the flag. First down, Smithson Valley.
You got to imagine with 14 seconds left and Brennan not having any timeouts left, and with that penalty making half the distance to the goal, I'd imagine Smithson Valley either just take a knee or hand it off here and get it to halftime, make some adjustments, knowing we got the ball coming out in the second half.
They'll have it at the 7 officially following the enforcement of the penalty. Ty Knutson and company. Snap it, and we'll head into the locker room. There's Piegler. Right around the 5.
Yeah, and that should do it. I'll take it to halftime.
Yeah, that Smithson Valley coaching staff all to content to head into the locker room. Fireworks
Links
early.
Roofing. Every job has a halftime. Time to finish strong.
Okay, it was a rough start to the half. We kept our composure though. We know the heat got to us. Jonathan, you pulled through though. The second half, I'm going to need all your guys to clean up the material. Can you do that?
Yes, Coach. I got you.
Okay, John, now that the tear-off is behind us, your team has to focus on the dry-in and the install of those beautiful GF shingles. Can you do that for me?
Yes, Coach.
All right, then. Let's go out there. Let's execute. Let's make sure that house never forgets that Lynx was there. Let's go.
Sure, it was just a skit. But for us, every roof is game time.
Roofing doesn't always work like this, but you can't wait until the second half of your roof's life to make adjustments. Here at Lynx Roofing, we repair and replace roofs, so we have you covered any time of the year.
Hey, tell them about Smithson Valley.
Oh, that's right. Lynx Roofing is a proud gold sponsor of the Smithson Valley Athletic Program, committed to the community both on and off the field.
Gavin, appreciate you joining us again. I'm Chris Cooley. We're here from the GBTC Foundation, and we want to talk to you about the scholarship you applied for with us, the CTE, the Career and Technical Education Scholarship. Does that ring a bell?
Yes, sir.
Where did you find out about this scholarship from? How did you hear about it?
Actually, one of my friends texted it to me, just because they knew I participated in the CTEs.
Well, let me tell you, that is a very good friend, because we're here to tell you you have won the 2025 GBTC Foundation $7,500 CTE scholarship. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. How are y'all doing today?
Good. I think.
Well, sorry to call you down to the office. This is Chris Cooley, and we're here with the GBTC Foundation. We wanted to talk to you about the Ola Armstrong Scholarship that you applied for. Does that ring a bell?
Yes, sir.
I'm sure you've applied for quite a few, right? There's a lot of scholarships out there, but we're here to tell you that you are the recipient of the 2025 $15,000 Ola Armstrong Scholarship from the GBTC Foundation. Congratulations to you.
I couldn't be more proud. Thank you so much.
Well, hello, Riley. This is Chris Cooley here from the GBTC Foundation. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Well, sorry to catch you on the road.
No, you're good.
We looks like you're in trouble here. There's a lot of people here, but We've got some questions about your application. This is regarding our GBTC Foundation Richie T. Sorrells Scholarship.
Yes, sir.
Does that ring a bell?
Yes, sir, it does.
I'm sure you filled out a lot of applications. We see you're on the road. I know you're coming back from a school trip, so we'll jump right to it and tell you congratulations. You are the recipient of the 2025 GBTC Foundation $25,000 Richie T. Sorrells Scholarship. Congratulations.
Oh my gosh.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I was not expecting this.
Well, I plan on going into graphic design at Texas State University, and hopefully afterwards being able to use that in my own career experience and hopefully start a business or work through a business, learning on that.
Well, I just want to start by saying thank you to the GBTC Foundation again for giving me this opportunity. It'll go a long way in helping pay for college by covering just a chunk of my first semester or more. I'm planning to do something with math, not quite sure yet, but perhaps actuarial science, and this will definitely help further my education in that. So thank you very much again.
So this is going to go towards my education at Texas A&M University. I plan to major in animal science and pursue a career in veterinary medicine, whether that be through working in a vet clinic or product development and research. It's been a passion of mine for many, many years, and I plan to pursue that further in the future. I want to say thank you all so much for all that y'all do to support youth development in our community. It means so much to me and countless other youth, and it really encourages youth in our community, whether that by acknowledging their leadership, community service, and hard work. So I just want to say thank you for everything that y'all do to support youth in our community. It means so much to me and countless others.
Congratulations to all of you, to the students and to your parents as well. It's a big day for y'all, but it's also a really big day for all of us. As Richie mentioned, this is who we are. So I think for us, you know, what we can do in the community and investing in the students, to have a day like this, to be able to come and see the faces, and see, I know the people that get to award these, they get to see the real surprises when you guys get, which is great. I think they video that so we can see it too. But it's just a great day for all of us. And so glad y'all are here to all celebrate this together.
Ranger Color Guard is under the direction of Robert Andrade and Samantha Gazinski. Everyone, please help us recognize our Ranger Band section of the week, the Clarinets. Next, the Ranger Band will perform their UIL marching show entitled Jumanji. Their show will feature the music from Henry Jackman and Dance Helmensburg. Travis Land. Our principal is Dr. Stacia Snyder. The Ranger Band would like to thank our Ranger sponsor, Van Ryn Compliance. The voice of the Ranger Band has been Rochelle McClanahan. We hope you enjoyed tonight's performance, and we'll see you next week as the Rangers take on the Madison Mavericks back home at Ranger.
Comal ISD has always been more than a district. It's a community where friendships are made, traditions are built, and futures are launched. Now, we're inviting you, our alumni, to join the next chapter. The Comal Education Foundation is launching the Alumni Network to celebrate your stories, build connections, and support today's students. Wherever life has taken you, we want to welcome you back. Visit comalisd.org/alumni and join today.
Every shoe they've ever worn has been black. That little voice they hear inside their heads is Coach Larry Hill. When asked their favorite color, they all agree it's always navy. They all believe that the baseball team, a certain law enforcement group, and the 4x4 side-by-side were all named after them. The only thing on their Christmas list is Whataburger gift cards. Each of them has officially changed their middle name to Smithson. When choosing their jersey number, they all answered anything but the number 1. They are the most Rangers in the world.
Stay Navy, my friend.
The oak tree is a symbol of power, strength, and stability. For Comal ISD, it represents a motto of growing greatness. From the nurturing of our youngest learners in pre-K to cultivating our expanding career and tech ed programs, we create opportunities for students to help them thrive for a lifetime. As superintendent of Comal ISD, I am proud to see our families, our teachers, and our neighbors working together. There is a power in the community that supports its schools. Together, we are growing greatness.
United Rentals understands that your routine is never routine. That's why we stand in the same dirt, ready to help you work with unmatched equipment and expertise that turn worries into wins. So as the weather shifts, plans change, and project complexity increases, we stand united with you. United Rentals. Work united.
I didn't put a filter on. Look at this. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, it's because Link's roofing is in the shop. Anything next to the toughest roofing you can get looks not so tough. Anything?
Link's roof, the second toughest thing in the Smithson Valley area.
You know, everyone's lifestyle inside is all connected through Wi-Fi. Your IoT devices, your TV, the streamers, the gamers. And we in Texas, we love being out in the backyard. We love extending, I think, what we do inside to the outside. Whether it's grilling, whether it's swimming, hanging out at night, listening to music. The outdoor Wi-Fi product really extends that Wi-Fi in your lifestyle to the outdoors. We think about connecting products like your security cameras that you can get through GVTC. Talk about your smart lights, your smart speakers. It's the she shed outside, right? For all the women who love to do projects outside, just the same as a workshop. Wherever you want to connect your Wi-Fi, it really is taking the best of the indoor premium Wi-Fi and extending it outdoors into whatever lifestyle that you have.
From Blanco to Bulverde, Bernie to New Braunfels, GVTC Local Lens is your connection to Hill Country happenings. 24 hours a day, tune into GVTC Channel 16 for local high school sports, community events, and original programming, brought to you with the power of GVTC. Tune in now for a unique view of your community through the GVTC Local Lens.
The oak tree is a symbol of power, strength, and stability. For Comal ISD, it represents a motto of growing greatness. From the nurturing of our youngest learners in pre-K to cultivating our expanding career and tech ed programs, we create opportunities for students to help them thrive for a lifetime. As superintendent of Comal ISD, I am proud to see our families, our teachers, and our neighbors working together. There is a power in the community that supports its schools. Together, we are growing greatness.
Are you sure you don't want to go to the movies, Abuela?
Mijo, I love you, but I prefer the classic movies. You go, have a good time. What's this?
Just come with me.
Oh, my mijo.
Your choice, Abuela.
GVTC, connecting you.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Jeremy Fuller State Farm, United Rentals, Lynx Roofing, Orthopedic Performance Institute, Frost Bank, The Branch, Chick-fil-A at Stone Ridge, Christopher Ashley Pools, Singer Services, Methodist Healthcare, and Wick Productions. Comal ISD has always been more than a district. It's a community where friendships are made, traditions are built, and futures are launched. Now, we're inviting you, our alumni, to join the next chapter. The Comal Education Foundation is launching the Alumni Network to celebrate your stories, build connections, and support today's students. Wherever life has taken you, we want to welcome you back. Visit comalisd.org/alumni and join today.
Every shoe they've ever worn has been black. That little voice they hear inside their heads is Coach Larry Hill. When asked their favorite color, they all agree it's always navy. They all believe that the baseball team, a certain law enforcement group, and the 4x4 side-by-side were all named after them. The only thing on their Christmas list is Whataburger gift cards. Each of them has officially changed their middle name to Smithson. When choosing their jersey number, they all answered anything but the number 1. They are the most Rangers in the world.
Stay Navy, my friend.
We would like to thank Chick-fil-A at Stone Ridge for sponsoring our Rangers. They are a huge part of our community and have Ranger athletes of their very own. Thanks, Chick-fil-A at Stone Ridge. The Rangers appreciate Jeremy Fuller State Farm's support year after year of our Smithson Valley athletes. If you need home, auto, insurance, and more, call Jeremy Fuller State Farm today. Our Smithson Valley athletes appreciate the branch for all of their support. They keep our hungry athletes fed and contribute towards scholarships and overall athletic needs year after year. The Rangers appreciate you. Smithson Valley Ranger athletes appreciate Christopher Ashley Pools. Thank you for all of your support. They are a big part of our community and have their very own Ranger athletes. When you are ready to complete your backyard paradise, Christopher Ashley Pools can bring your vision to life.
United Rentals understands that your routine is never routine. That's why we stand in the same dirt, ready to help you work with unmatched equipment and expertise that turn worries into wins. So as the weather shifts, plans change, and project complexity increases, we stand united with you. United Rentals. Work united.
I didn't put a filter on. Look at this. Let me see.
Let me see. Oh, it's because Link's roofing is in the shop. Anything next to the toughest roofing you can get looks not so tough.
Anything?
Link's roof, the second toughest thing in the Smithson Valley area.
You know, everyone's lifestyle inside is all connected through Wi-Fi. Your IoT devices, your TV, the streamers, the gamers. And we in Texas, we love being out in the backyard. We love extending, I think, what we do inside to the outside. Whether it's grilling, whether it's swimming, hanging out at night, listening to music, the outdoor Wi-Fi product really extends that Wi-Fi in your lifestyle to the outdoors. We think about connecting products like your security cameras that you can get through GVTC. Talk about your smart lights, your smart speakers. It's the she shed outside, right? For all the women who love to do projects outside, just the same as a workshop. Wherever you want to connect your Wi-Fi, it really is taking the best of the indoor premium Wi-Fi and extending it outdoors into whatever lifestyle that you have.
From Blanco to Bulverde, Bernie to New Braunfels, GVTC Local Lens is your connection to Hill Country happenings. 24 hours a day, tune into GVTC Channel 16 for local high school sports, community events, and original programming. Brought to you with the power of GVTC. Tune in now for a unique view of your community through the GVTC Local Lens.
The oak tree is a symbol of power, strength, and stability. For Comal ISD, it represents a motto of growing greatness. From the nurturing of our youngest learners in pre-K to cultivating our expanding career and tech ed programs, we create opportunities for students to help them thrive for a lifetime. As superintendent of Comal ISD, I am proud to see our families, our teachers, and our neighbors working together. There is a power in the community that supports its schools. Together, we are growing greatness.
Back at Gustafson Stadium, about to start the second half. Smithson Valley trailing Brennan 23-14 at the intermission alongside Bryan Hill. And Bryan, Smithson Valley a fantastic, 21, 22 minutes of the first half. Thing is, Brennan, like you often see in big-time boxing matches, closed out the round very, very well. And here we are at the half. and it's the Bears who have a 9-point lead at 23-14.
Yeah, super tight game. The whole first half, Smithson Valley kind of with that turnover late and giving the short field, and then kind of the trick play. Brennan was able to get another score on top of that, was able to make it a two-possession game. But I think the key is for Smithson Valley kind of go back, and I know they were trying to, but those first couple of possessions where they were really doing a good job of mixing up the run and pass, get a couple easy completions to your playmakers on the outside with Quentin and Haug, and let those guys expand the field a little bit to open up your running game. And then defensively, I didn't see a whole lot of busts there. It's just, having to make tackles against athletes in space. Other than the one long touchdown run where our D-end and our linebacker weren't on the same page, we had guys in the spots. We just got to rally the football and limit the big plays and get off the field on third down. I think there was a lot of third downs. And we got to go on some drives offensively. I feel like the defense was out there almost the entire time, whether it be quick touchdown drives or quick 3-and-outs. You need to go on some drives to kind of stem the momentum a little bit and also keep your defense rested.
Speaking of Hunter and Quinton, they are back deep to receive the kickoff from Axton Bada. The Brennan Bears got the ball first, ended up not doing much on that first possession, but courtesy of that first touch, it is now the Rangers who get the ball, and they'll get it at the 25 as Bada's kick rolls through the end zone, and it's 1st and 10 at the 25 for Smithson Valley.
Yeah, I was close to going out of bounds. Kind of bounced right over the pylon there. About a 15-yard difference in field position, but Smithson Valley will start out at the 25-yard line. And, again, just need to get something going and go on a drive here. Obviously, you love the quick hitters like we had to Haug, the 70-yard touchdown. That's awesome. We'll take it for sure. But just going on some drives, getting in a rhythm, getting your offense some work, and keeping your defense off the field will be big. And let's see if we can get it done the first drive of the second half.
Quarterback Ty Knutson in that first half, 4 of 8, 115 yards, threw the 75-yard touchdown to Haug. Had a lost fumble, was sacked once. Piegler, 9 rushes, 35 yards, and a score. Penalty on the first play. It's a screen to Sampson, crossed to 30. We'll see what the marker's for, though.
Illegal formation. 5 men in the offensive backfield. Previous spot, 5 yards, repeat, first down.
I guess they're saying both of the wide receivers here, both Haug and Quentin were off the line of scrimmage. One of them should have been on, but again, tough way to start the half. Would have had about 3 or 4 yards there on first down, but going backwards. But luckily it's not a loss of down. Still first down, but 1st and 15.
Negates what would have been Sampson's second catch of the night. He has 1 for 5 yards. Haug with 2 for 97, the bulk of that coming on the 75-yard score. Brody Wick a catch for 13 yards. Pleger around left side, not a whole lot there. That Bear defense ready and waiting.
Yeah, had everything blocked up front the way that you want it blocked, but the corner, Jalen Kelly, came off of Quentin's block late and was able to get in there and cut the legs out. But, again, another one of those plays where right at the point of attack you're thinking, oh, here we go. But it seems like we're one block away or one missed cut away from really having a big play, but that's a credit to Brennan's defense. They're rallying the football.
2nd down and 15. Knutson shotgun, twins to his left, looking that way. Has Haug crossing, but by the time that
officials timeout.
Ty could look up.
Defensive player helmet came off.
I paused there for the official announcement. You heard it, a helmet coming off. By the time that Knutson could look up, he was surrounded by Bears.
Yeah, had a similar type play to what they scored on earlier that time. In a obvious passing type situation, they added an extra guy in coverage and kind of set underneath in that window. And by the time we crossed into the second window, Ty had some Bears in his lap there. So, again, 3rd and super long passing situation. Maybe something on the outside, one-on-one type matchup with Haug on a deep out route.
There it is on 3rd and 20. It's Hunter across the 35. First down for Smithson Valley.
Huge.
They needed 20. They got 23.
Huge. Deep drive route. And there's not a whole lot of guys in high school that can make that throw with the velocity that Ty just did, showing off his arm strength. It was 3rd and 15, and that route was about a 15-yard out route. Came back to the ball, and that ball was on a rope. And Haug does a great job of stick awareness and fighting, staying in bounds. To lower that shoulder and pick up the first down, and a huge 3rd down conversion there.
Well, that arm a reason why the likes of A&M, UT, Tech, just to name a few, have offered Ty Knutson. Piegler, handoff up the middle, near the 45. Good pickup on 1st and 10.
Again, it was a great gain, 5 yards on first down, cutting the distance in half. We will take it. But, again, really good tackling by Brennan because, again, right when he got through the line, I know I keep saying it over and over, I'm thinking that's about to be a big gain, and, one guy is able to bring him down. Hopefully we can wear on him a little bit, and those 4 or 5 yard runs start turning into big chunk 15, 20-yard runs.
2nd and 5 officially at the 44. Piegler again coming left. A good hole across midfield and another first down for the Rangers.
They're getting the running game going a little bit. Great job. Outside zone play. Actually got the defensive end reach, which is kind of rare for a 4 down. You're thinking defensive end is outside contained, so you're going to kind of hit it up inside of him. But great job by our tackle over there. I think that was that Briley Bowman. Getting him reached and able to get to the edge and pick up another first down in the running game.
Bowman the left tackle, Cannon Wheeler the left guard, Gugliotti, Cow the center, Clinton Goss right guard, Aiden Verrett the right tackle. 1st and 10 at the Brennan 49. There's Sampson. Brought down hard at the sideline. Loss of a couple. Now on their own side of the field are the Rangers.
Yeah, great recognition by Brewster. He was actually a backside linebacker. We had a puller out for the widest guy. Looked like we're going to be able to hit a crease, but Brewster showing off that speed from the linebacker position, running it down from the backside. And, again, that's a play Smithson Valley's had success on multiple times throughout the years and even early in the game tonight. But great recognition by Brewster, and actually about a 3-yard loss there. So 2nd and 13, 2nd and 12.
Jonas Brewster, a kid who's all over the place. 16 tackles last week in that win against Reagan, including 1 for a loss. Knutson in trouble. Makes something of it across midfield. Look at Ty go. First down to the Brennan 35.
Great recognition. The Brennan defensive end does a great job of getting up the field on the sprint out, kind of right in his face, trying to hit that little flood route. And instead of trying to float something over him, he's quick decision, sticks his foot in the ground, and gets north, and then runs over a guy for another big first down. Really good decision-making right there. Not throwing into traffic or trying to float one over a defensive end that was right in his face. Ty not necessarily known for his running, but he is very athletic. He can run the ball when needed, and he showed it off right there.
The Rangers' first drive of the second half looking a lot like the first drive of the first half. It resulted in a Caleb Piegler 2-yard score. Here he is, speaking of Caleb, around the left side, couple of yards, fighting and spinning his way toward the 30. Didn't quite get there, but a couple of yards to bring up second and what would be 7 or 6, depending on the spot.
And their big defensive tackle, Day is coming off the field, toll-free. His helmet came off, so he's got to sit out a play. So their interior defensive line is, of course, anybody would be a little bit lighter than him. He's a big boy. So we'll see if we run it up the middle, see if we can get some movement on the D-line here.
235 pounds to go with that 6'2 frame. 2nd and 7. Knutson again keeps near first down yardage. Met in the secondary, so he's shy of the marker.
A really good gain there. Design quarterback draw. Again, with toll-free out, middle's a little bit lighter than what it was. We got some good movement on the 2 interior defensive tackles. Ran it right up the middle, and a great physical run by Ty, lowering his shoulder and getting really close to a first down. You got to be thinking maybe 4-down territory here unless there's a sack and a loss of yardage. But 3rd and 1, see if we can go ahead and pick it up on 3rd down and not even get to 4th.
A yard to go. From the Brennan 26, shotgun Knutson, Piegler, first down and more, near the 20. Had to get to the 25, so at the 21.
And that's going to go down as a 3-yard run for Piegler, but that was a fantastic run, knowing it's 3rd and 1. Sometimes backs have a tendency to kind of stop in the hole and try to make a cut to get the big gain. He knew exactly what he had to get, and he just lowered his shoulder and moved the pile for a few yards to keep the Rangers on track. Another big first down here. See if we can cap it off with a touchdown.
Rangers looking very sharp on this opening drive of half number 2. A lot of Piegler, a lot of Knutson. Shotgun, twins to Ty's left. Goes that way. Sampson makes a move after he hauls it in, run out of bounds inside the 15.
Great quick release by Ty. Great job of Quentin knowing that the corner's triggering, so kind of working back to the ball just a little bit, dipping inside of it. Good job on the inside-out block by Howe with a quick triggering corner. If he'd have taken any less of a sharp angle, he wouldn't have been able to get there, but he just gets a piece of him. Quentin was able to slide inside and then get back out. Anytime you can gain 7 yards on first down, it's a good play.
At the 14, 2nd and 3. Piegler diving his way forward inside the 10. And another first down because he's at a 10 now, 1st and goal for the Rangers.
I think the offense has found a little bit of a recipe here, getting the ball out in your playmaker's hands on the edge, but then running the ball right downhill. Brennan has so much team speed, particularly on defense, that a lot of those outside runs, even though they looked blocked well initially, backside guys and linebackers, they got so much speed, they're running it down from the backside. So we're doing a good job. Most of our successful runs in this drive have been right downhill at them.
In case you're wondering, if you haven't noticed him, Day toll-free for Brennan is back out there. Manning that nose tackle spot. Piegler going the other way. Inside the 5, spinning his way toward the goal line. Caleb Piegler down at the 1.
Really close. Smart play by
Offensive player
Piegler.
helmet came off.
Looks like our offensive lineman. Who's that, Wheeler?
It's either Cannon Wheeler. Wheeler's coming off. A lot of helmets coming off in this ball game tonight.
Yeah, probably 5 or 6 that we've had to stop playing and get him out. But it was a good job by Caleb. The tendency when you get down to the goal line is kind of reach that thing out, and you see a lot of fumbles like that. Kind of the general rule is don't reach out unless it's 4th down. He kept it high and tight in there, and even though he didn't get in, got it down to the 1, I would expect to give it back to him here.
Trenton Trussell in for Cannon Wheeler at that left guard spot. 1st and goal at the 1, or 2nd and goal at the 1. Piegler, touchdown Rangers. Breaks a streak of 20 unanswered for the Bears, and a big way to start the second half.
Just an outstanding drive, a great response. Brennan had all of the momentum going into halftime with the 2 late scores, and Smithson Valley gets it immediately, gets into a 3rd and 15, 3rd and 16. If that pass and catch from Knutson to Howe doesn't happen, we're looking at the momentum still being back in Brennan. The punt probably only getting to about the 50-yard line. Brennan starting with great field position with a chance to go up 3 scores. Instead, a couple huge, big 3rd down conversions. Smithson Valley cuts it within 2.
Trent Amaya, as is so often the case, money on those extra points. When we come back, the Rangers within 2, as Brian mentioned. Brennan's first chance with the ball in the second half right here on the Rangers Network.
Media time.
United Rentals understands that your routine is never routine. That's why we stand in the same dirt, ready to help you work with unmatched equipment and expertise that turn worries into wins. So as the weather shifts, plans change, and project complexity increases, we stand united with you. United Rentals. Work united.
A Lynx roof is the strongest roofing system. Even the strongest hits are no match for a Lynx roof.
Built to withstand the impact of the toughest storms.
That's right, our roofs protect the future of this community. Lynx Roofing, a proud gold sponsor of the Smithson Valley Athletic Program, because every season starts with a roof inspection.
Gustafson Stadium, and we told you at the beginning of the broadcast this one should prove fun. Smithson Valley and Brennan, thankfully, giving us the type of game we thought we might get tonight. The Rangers coming out early, the Bears answering with a quick flurry toward the end of the first half, and here we are starting the second half with a Smithson Valley touchdown added all together, 23-21, on a drive in which the Rangers went 75 yards and Brian Hill took 8 minutes and 3 seconds off the clock.
Just what we talked about it beforehand. Go on a long drive. Let your defense keep their offense off the field. You know, keep their playmakers. The quarterback Glass and running back and Thompson. Keep those guys off the field. Give your defense a blow. They were on the field so much in the first half. But again, the most impressive thing is getting out of those 3rd and longs and, a couple first downs that went backwards.
It's a touchback.
Still able
We're in a full media timeout.
Still able to convert and ended up getting a touchdown. That was huge for the Rangers.
Well, Maya, as he so often does, and as Brian mentioned several times in the first half, can boot it through the back of the end zone anytime he wants. That one landing in the end zone, fair catch, a wise decision by the Bears. And so their first chance with the ball at the 25. And it'll be interesting to see, Brian, what adjustments they've made offensively, especially coming off the flurry they put together there at the end of the first half. Excited and kind of curious to see what this Bears offense and how the Ranger D is going to match up with it here to start the second half.
It's going to be interesting. It looks like Smithson Valley made an adjustment. The defense made an adjustment about in the second quarter. Typical Smithson Valley defense is when the defensive end doesn't get blocked and he gets a down block by the tackle, he's going to, and it's a zone read type of deal, he's going to chase downhill and he's going to make the quarterback pull it and the linebacker be there. But the quarterback, with Glass being so explosive, we almost want the ball in the running back's hands over him. So a lot of times now we're sending the defensive end upfield, making the quarterback hand it off. So it'll be interesting to see if we kind of revert back or whether we continue to do that and kind of who do we want to take away. And I'll tell you what, Glass is we talked about it all first half and before the game. He's a playmaker. He's not just a runner back there. You focus so much on his running, but he can throw it too, and he's hurt us a lot in the air as well. So keeping him contained is going to be the key for the Ranger defense.
Glass nearly 1,400 yards through the air last year, nearly 700 on the ground. Incomplete here, though, looking for Donovan Laird on 1st and 10.
Yeah, it looked very similar to the one that Smithson Valley scored on. Just kind of ride the running back, try to draw those linebackers downhill, and then throw a little quick glance route to the outside. Not sure whether he had somebody in his way, but either way, the ball was a little high over his head. So good first down stop for the Rangers, 2nd and 10.
And the reality that Brian alluded to moments ago is why the Brennan Bears are going to win more games often than not. As Glass comes left across the 30, makes a move, the 35, and a first down for the Bears is – they make you pick a poison, right, Brian? Like if it's not Glass, it's Mekhi Thompson. And all Mekhi Thompson's done is last year rushed for nearly 700 yards, and he's one of the featured backs, regarded as one of the better backs in all of Greater San Antonio.
And you saw it there. They reverted back to our to what we do. We closed, made the quarterback pull it. We had a linebacker there unblocked, but we didn't make a tackle in the open field. We got to be able to tackle in space.
Thompson again, to the 40 across it. I think they're going to spot it at the 40, though. Pick up a 5 to bring up 2nd and 5. No, actually the 39. Well, there's two different. There we go. Now they're moving it at the 40.
Yeah, we'll see what we continue to do on whether we make any adjustments there. But again, he's hard to bring down in space. So even if you got guys there unblocked, still got to make a tackle in the open field.
Bears scoring 2 touchdowns in the final minute to take a 23-14 lead into the locker room. 23-21 now, incomplete. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and 5 for the Bears. Big opportunity for this Ranger defense coming.
Yeah, ball was a little low. I think the tackle would have been made right there. Maybe a half yard to a yard short of the line of scrimmage, but with the drop, brings up 3rd and 5 instead of 3rd and 1. And so we'll see what we do. We'll see if the Brennan offensive coordinator gets Glass on the move to give an option to either run it or throw it, or if they'll try to hit a quick hitter.
Glass 8 of 12 a week ago, 129 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did throw a pick, but then he also ran for a touchdown as well. Bears getting a big win against Reagan to start 2025. 3rd down and 5. Thompson up the middle, first down.
Physical tackle at the end there by Smith, but when your safeties are making the tackle, then that typically means that they've gotten at least 4 or 5 yards there. And so I think the Ranger defense was kind of playing past there, and Brennan saw a light box, handed it off, and they were able to pick up a first down. So fresh set of downs just before the 50.
In case you were not with us in the first half, Caleb Barrow, Kyle Bierman, Justin Roberts, Hudson Woods, the offensive lineman for the Smithson Valley Rangers as Glass comes around left side. to around midfield, so they're going to give him 3. The backers, from a starting perspective in terms of the lineup, Colton Hornsby in the middle, Jacob Stover, Devin DeToto, the secondary, Hunter Haug and Liam McGee, the corners, Philip Smith and Bladen Camacho, the safeties. So 2nd down and 6 coming for the Bears at the 49 of Smithson Valley. Glass twins to his right. Fakes the handoff. There's the pass. Making a move with McClellan toward the marker. And depending on the spot, he might have gotten it. He did. 1st down.
Yeah, they're doing a good job right now mixing things up. They see us kind of start tightening up the box because the run's hurting us just a hair, and they're flipping it out there on some of those quick hitters, the run tags, and then we start widening out to take that away. And it's a tough backfield to defend. It's, like you said, it's kind of a double-edged sword. Pick your poison. Do we want the quarterback running it or the running back? Either one of them are pretty good options for Brennan.
And Jaden McClellan's kind of been a pest in his own right. Every time he makes a catch, it seems to be one of significance, either giving Brennan a 1st down or much-needed yardage or what have you. Speaking of, Thompson up the middle for right around 7 more.
And Brennan's big up front, too. I know we've talked about their skill players a lot, but their offensive line, they're very big, and you don't often see Smithson Valley's D-line, kind of getting moved or kind of at least a standstill right there. And right now, the big Brennan line are doing their part.
At the 36 of the Rangers, Glass back to pass, giving chase or several Rangers. Woods had him on the outside, and then Justin Roberts making Glass leave the pocket, run out of bounds. And after all of that, a loss of maybe a yard. Did he get back to the line of scrimmage? Nope.
A loss of 3.
A loss of 3.
Yeah, so good job. Great pursuit by Hornsby. As you mentioned, Roberts and Woods and those guys kind of got the initial pressure, flushed them from the pocket, and we kind of have that QB spy on him with our Mike Hornsby and a great showing his speed. He's not easy to track down, but ran him out of bounds for a loss.
3rd and 6 at the Ranger 39. Big down. 36 seconds. Clock is stopped because Glass went out of bounds on the previous play. So huge opportunity here for the Ranger D to get off the field, and Brennan wants to talk. That play clock, I think, was winding down.
Called by Brennan. Brennan has 2 timeouts remaining in the 2nd half of play.
Be interesting to see, one thing that Brennan that we haven't mentioned. What Brennan is doing is they're hustling up to the line, and sometimes they snap it quick and go tempo. Sometimes they fake it, and then now they look to the sideline. But what that does when they hurry up to the line so often, it doesn't really allow us to get calls in, maybe some of our exotic blitzes, some of our different personnel packages and things like that. And so typically on like a 3rd and long or a passing type situation, so often you'll see our defensive staff with Coach Worsty bring a linebacker, do some twists with our D-line to really create that pressure. We haven't really been able to do that a whole lot tonight because Brennan's going fast. So I'm curious to see, now that there's a timeout and Smithson Valley and Coach Worsty have a chance to talk about it, will we bring pressure here to try to get some pressure into Glass's face?
Coach Stephen Baser leading a staff that includes Jordan Ritchie, Jeff Howitt, Craig Ritchie, P.J. Wells, Christopher Mojica, Rob Robinson, Sean Salinas, Trey Brown, Faustino Costa, Alexander Mercado, and Nicholas Finger. A fine staff over for the Brennan Bears, and a 3rd and 6 awaits them at the Ranger 39. See what they have dialed up in a ball game in which this is their first touch. They didn't get the ball until there was under 4 minutes to go because the Rangers were so effective, so efficient, and took 8 minutes plus off the clock on their first possession. Glass coming left. Nope. Handoff. 40, 35. We'll see where the spot is. Short.
Just short. A little trickery, almost like a wing tee, slot tee type of, like a reverse almost from the pistol. Kind of outnumbered again, and a great open field tackle. I don't know if that was Smith or Camacho, but be interesting to see. After missing the 35-yard PAT, maybe not having the confidence in the kicker, it looks like they might stay on the field and go for it on this 4th and 1. But we'll have the end of the quarter, the fastest 3rd quarter in the history of football.
Jay Sean Mitchell, the touch. It's the final one of quarter number 3. Put those 4s up. 12 minutes remain in a fantastic ball game between the Rangers and the Bears from Gustafson Stadium. We're back with the final frame on the Rangers Network.
would like to thank Chick-fil-A at Stone Ridge for sponsoring our Rangers. They are a huge part of our community and have Ranger athletes of their very own. Thanks, Chick-fil-A at Stone Ridge. The Rangers appreciate Jeremy Fuller State Farm's support year after year of our Smithson Valley athletes. If you need home, auto, insurance, and more, call Jeremy Fuller State Farm today. Our Smithson Valley athletes appreciate the branch for all of their support. They keep our hungry athletes fed and contribute towards scholarships and overall athletic needs year after year. The Rangers appreciate you. Smithson Valley Ranger athletes appreciate Christopher Ashley Pulls. Thank you for all of your support. They are a big part of our community and have their very own Ranger athletes.
Glass on fourth, and one, ahead of myself, gets the first down. Hoping maybe there for the power of the announcer and the jinx of the announcer there, Brian, saying first down before it actually happened, but the Bears do get the first down on 4th and short.
Yeah, good call, getting Glass on the move, run pass option. Had a guy sitting with a window right there, but if he wasn't open, he was going to tuck it and run, but big first down.
At the 29, Glass, Donovan Laird, nothing. Jacob Stover there for the tackle.
Good play by Haug, the corner. He triggered so fast and kind of blew up the receiver that was blocking for him right into the lap of the receiver, which made him kind of go backwards and stumble. By that time, the troops had rallied and able to make a tackle for no gain here.
Ball stood at the 29. 2nd and 10. Glass has 2 receivers to his right. Puts Mitchell in motion. Keeper. Ball's loose.
They blew the whistle. No!
Oh,
that's 6 points.
Boy.
That is 6
progress
points.
To stop. 3rd down.
Oh, no.
They're going to say that's not even a turnover.
They're going to say the progress was stopped before the whistle blew. That is a bad call. Coach Hill is fired up. That is a bad call. That is an inadvertent whistle.
You know, my first thought, Brian, was they blew the whistle too quick once the ball was recovered. But it turns out they blew the whistle stopping progress, so it's not even a turnover.
Golly.
3rd and 8, but the Bears are take it considering what would have been the alternative. Glass. Laird. Big stop for the Rangers if they can corral him.
Ball.
Now the ball's loose. There's no taking this one away if the Rangers can recover.
Got it.
They did.
Ball never lies.
Ball don't lie. 1st and 10 for Smithson Valley at the 39.
I didn't see who made the hit, but it was going to be stopped short and bring up about a 4th and 5, and he broke that tackle. Good on him. And I don't know whether it was safety. I don't know whether it was Camacho or whether it was Smith. I'm not sure. Someone came up and laid the wood. We tried to scoop and score, couldn't handle it, so we just fell on it. But a big turnover there by Smithson Valley. Obviously, we'd have liked to have the scoop and score on the previous play, but big stop by the defense. See if the Rangers can go down and take the lead.
Rangers taking over on one of those plays that makes you go, whoa, 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 5 different times throughout the entire play. Knutson with exactly 10 minutes remaining on the game clock. Piegler around right side, that Bear defense ready for him.
Yeah, lost a block on the edge. Had numbers in the box, but we lost the defensive end. Good play. Pretty good job by Piegler just kind of getting out of that and getting back to the line of scrimmage there. But a lot of excitement after that play. Just offense needs to settle in and do what they did the last drive, kind of mix it up. Some quick passes, get it to your playmakers, run the ball downhill, and see if we can take some time off the clock and take the lead. You know that Amaya, you're getting by the 30-yard line, 35-yard line. Amaya's got the leg to take the lead here.
It's a gain of 2. Jaden Johnson, Nehemiah Lopez, and Jeremiah Reyes, the defensive lineman, to go along with the aforementioned Day Tofree for the Bears. That ball down, not a turnover, but it does bring up 3rd down and 8 for the Rangers. Wait a minute. Whistles never blew. No, they did.
They blew it a long time
Yes,
ago.
they did. Well, I saw the Brennan coaching staff encouraging encouraging Jaden Johnson to keep on running. And then that's when the official stepped in and said, no, the play's dead.
Pegler's came off the field. He's limping a little bit. So we'll get I can't see a number.
Yeah,
Gunnar Sjoquist in there at running back.
Yes, on the depth chart, Gunnar is second, although Renix Visuroga got a lot of looks in last week's game. It is Sjoquist, though, who is in the backfield. Knutson keeps looking down the sideline. Hunter Hogg incomplete.
A lot of jersey grabbing there. A lot.
And that's exactly what Hunter's saying.
A lot.
Pleading his case to the official. They were holding on to my jersey. They being the operative word, because there was 2 Brennan defenders in that area.
So after the big turnover by the Smithson Valley defense, Ranger offense unable to capitalize on it, and more worrisome Pegler's over on the sideline. So hopefully he's okay, but see if we can get a good punt, hold him, get a good field position, or pin him deep, and see if defense come up with another big stop.
Amaya, an excellent kicker and punter, standing at his own 31. That a good high kick. I believe that was touched. Now it's fielded by the Bears. A lane up the middle to the outside. The 50 across. Amaya, fantastic athlete, chasing Mitchell out of bounds. And on our side of the field, a penalty marker.
Yeah, something happened in the middle of the field, kind of behind the play. Not sure what happened, but now Woods is getting up a little bit gimpy. Hopefully he's okay. There's 2 guys kind of scrapping in the middle of the field. I was watching the play, but not sure who it's going to be on.
Mentioned Amaya being a fantastic athlete. Coach Hill not only mentioning that and talking about Trent, but he also said Trent plays his position as well as anybody on our team plays their position.
Well, in that time, a lot of people that don't really
During
know.
the return, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on 95 of the kicking team. Penalty being forced 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
So Brennan's going to get field position pretty much exactly where they left off on their last drive, but we were saying that typically we like the punt. Although Amaya has the leg to do your traditional booming punt up in the sky, we do the low line drive end over, and for that reason,
immediate timeout.
For that reason, to try to get the ball on the ground and not let them get their hands on it.
We're going to step aside. 8:23 remain. Rangers defense asked to do it yet again. We're back after this right here on the Rangers Network.
We would like to thank Chick-fil-A at Stone Ridge for sponsoring our Rangers. They are a huge part of our community and have Ranger athletes of their very own. Thanks, Chick-fil-A at Stone Ridge. The Rangers appreciate Jeremy Fuller State Farm's support year after year of our Smithson Valley athletes. If you need home, auto, insurance, and more, call Jeremy Fuller State Farm today. Our Smithson Valley athletes appreciate the branch for all of their support. They keep our hungry athletes fed and contribute towards scholarships and overall athletic needs year after year. The Rangers appreciate you. Smithson Valley Ranger athletes appreciate Christopher Ashley Pulls. Thank you for all of your support. They are a big part of our community and have their very own Ranger athletes. When you are ready to complete your backyard paradise, Christopher Ashley Pulls can bring your vision to life.
Caden Glass, a 2-yard gain on 1st and 10 following the punt and the penalty as the Bears have the ball up by 2. The Ranger D, some big stops tonight, looking for another one here as the clock goes under 8 minutes to go in quarter 4.
Let's see if the Ranger defense can stiffen up, force the field goal try, keep it a one-possession game.
2nd and 8. 24 of Smithson Valley. Glass brought down. What a sack, Justin Roberts.
We're finally able to get some pressure from the interior while still getting some bookends on the outside, not letting him escape to the outside. When you can contain him and get pressure, we did bring a blitz on the outside, so Roberts got to do a little stunt, beat his man, and there was nowhere for Glass to go. So great play by Roberts. Good blitz call by Coach Worsty. So now we're bringing up 3rd, 14, 15, something like that. Big stop here. Also, kind of that sack really they were flirting with the edge of field goal range. Now they're kind of out of it, so you'd expect 4-down territory if they get some of this back.
Second sack of the night for Justin Roberts. Whistles. Does Brennan want to take another timeout?
Timeout. Brennan, 1 timeout remaining. Second half of play.
Okay.
We're in a full media timeout.
They only have the 1 timeout. The lack of timeouts did not hurt them in the first half. I'm wondering if maybe, and I know Smithson Valley fans hope that it will play a factor later on, but in this kind of a game, not ideal to have just the 1 timeout remaining when you've still got 6:55 remaining on the game clock.
Yeah, I think they think that this is one of the most critical plays of the game right here, so we want to make sure we get it right because, again, they're out of field goal range. You're kind of at that tweener stage between the 30 and 35-yard line that if you punt it and it goes into the end zone, you only get about 5-10 yards of field position. So what they're saying right now is we don't have to get it all back here. I would imagine that they would try to do something to maybe gain 7, 8, 9 yards so that they feel comfortable going forward on 4th down or maybe getting back into field goal range. So I would expect maybe some sort of getting Glass on the move. Hey, throw it, and if the receiver can break a tackle and go get the 1st down, great. But let's just make sure it's not 4th and 15. Let's make sure it's 4th and less than 10. And if we can happen to get more than that, great. But 4th and 15, you don't want to punt. It's unlikely you would pick up the 1st down on 4th and 15. So they're just hoping to try to get half of it back to make it a 4th and manageable. So they wanted to take a timeout and talk about it.
So in reality, this, a 2nd and 15, if you will.
Correct. 4-down territory. Unless, I don't necessarily know the range. Even the ones that their kicker has missed, he's had plenty of leg. He missed it left. But we're on the 33, so that's a 50-yard field goal from here.
Right now, right.
So you probably would think at least 10 yards might get you back into the range. But
Axton Bada, their kicker. We'll see if it even comes down to that, though, right now. 3rd and 15, shotgun, Glass. Looking middle, slant, complete, big hit by Haug. Short of the 1st down, but to your point, Brian, it's now 4th and very manageable. They're at the 21.
Yeah, big decision by Coach Baser here. Do we go for it and try to really extend this into a 2-possession game? Or do we kick the field goal? Now a field goal by Smithson Valley doesn't beat us, but a touchdown does. So it looks like they're keeping their offense out on the field. They're going to go for it on 4th and 3.
It would have been a 38-yard field goal attempt. 4th and 3, here's Glass. Looking back toward that sideline. Play clock's under 6. There's the snap. Up ahead, Glass, pushing forward, 1st down for the Bears.
Game on the line. You know they're going to keep it in number 7's hands. He's their playmaker. He's their leader, their senior returning quarterback, and that time, not a whole lot of frills right there. They just ran it straight downhill, was able to pick up a 1st down. So now the clock kind of becomes your enemy here if you're Smithson Valley. 5:50 to go. You do have all of your timeouts, but a touchdown here would make it a 2-possession game, so you'd have to work quick offensively. It'd be big to hold them to a field goal.
The Bears at the 14. Mitchell in motion. Or maybe just simply lining up. Snap. Give. Thompson around right. He's got a pat to the end zone. Mekhi Thompson has 6 for the Bears.
And again, had him bottled up, had guys there. He just runs hard, and he's a heck of a playmaker and breaks the tackles. But obviously you don't want to give up a touchdown there, but that if you were going to give up a touchdown, that's the best-case scenario, not really taking much time off the clock. Now it's a 2-possession game, so you need as much of that clock left as you can and hold on to those timeouts, hoping to at least get 2 more possessions before the end of the game.
Well, this is a big extra point because it means you can't get it all back with just a touchdown and a 2. And there it is. The extra point for Alex Parra makes it a 2-possession game. 30 to 21, 5:27 left in the 4th quarter. All right, Brian, I'm sure you've been in this situation at least a couple of times. You need 2 scores. You got roughly 5.5 minutes. What's the thinking here on this, I say first possession, right? Because you're going to need more than the 1. What's your thought here as you get the ball with under 5.5 to go?
Well, first and foremost, there is not a 9-point play that you can have, and you can't get the second score until you get the first one. So don't be in such a hurry thinking, oh my gosh, we're low on time, that we force things or make bad judgments or do something outside of your job. We have to get the first touchdown or the first points. Even a field goal here brings it back to a one-possession game. So the first thing you got to do is make sure you get the first score before you can get the second one. So just do what you do. You still have plenty of time. You still got half the fourth quarter. It's not like there's 2 minutes left. There's 5.5 minutes. Clock stops on a first down briefly. You have 3 timeouts left. Let's go ahead and just get at least 3 points here and then see if our defense can get us one more stand so we have a chance to win the ball game at the end. So, again, don't be in such a rush thinking you've got to get it all back right now that you do something out of your norm and take unnecessary chances.
Well, Brian, you mentioned that we were going to keep an eye on Quentin Sampson. He is not back on this return. Hudson Haug is back there, as he usually is. But they got Gunnar Sjoquist back to receive on the other end of the field this kickoff. Para. There's the kick. Low liner. Out of bounds. Okay. Good start.
Good field position by the Rangers without having to run the ball out. So Piegler came off the field, second play of that drive. And so we'll see if he returns. And also Quentin wasn't back there to return. And so I'm not sure what's going on with him. Hopefully those two guys can get in the ball game. But I don't see either one of them in the huddle right now.
By the kicking team. The ball will be placed 30 yards from where it was kicked at the 30-yard line on the press box hash mark, first down.
So if the Rangers are going to get a score here, they're going to have to do it without Piegler, and it looks like without Quentin.
I thought that maybe it was 22 in Quentin's spot on the kick return, and that would have, as I said, been Gunnar Sjoquist. I believe it was 12, Noah Johnson, safety for these Rangers. So, as Brian mentioned, no Sampson, no Piegler. 1st and 10 at the 30. Knutson, Haug, complete. Made a bare miss and then out of bounds.
Good first
Keep
down
the
play
clock
there.
running, so the clock will stop momentarily for the moving of the chains. And then they'll start it back up again, but the Rangers now with the 41. Clock has started, under 5:10 now.
If they're going to keep giving one-on-one coverage to Haug, and that's obviously your go-to guy. We got Brody in the slot. You make a play. Motion out, getting the trips.
Braxton Sawyer going in motion. Intended for Sawyer just over his fingertips.
I don't know if that was a designed and go, but it turned into one. We motioned the guy out of the backfield to make it a 3-man, that quick game that we usually do, and every Brennan Bear triggered on it. And I don't know whether Ty pumped because he saw that there was coverage there or it was a design and go, but we had the rail route with Sawyer coming out of the backfield. And if he catches that, he scores, but it's just off his fingertips.
So now it's Jacob Kirk in the slot. Brody Wick split out wide. Both on the right side of Knutson. Here's Sjoquist coming around right side to the 50. He's a yard shy of the first down.
Oh, he's giving him a first down. Oh, never mind. That ref up there was waving it through. We got an injured Brennan Bear on the field.
Officials timeout. The injured defensive player.
That was a good play call right there. 2nd and 10. They're thinking it's a pass situation. They got a light box. We hand it off on outside zone. I know we don't quite pick up the first down.
Game clock operator.
We get about 9.5 yards there. Obviously, 4-down territory right here. We're not going to punt. So you got 2 downs to get half a yard. So
4:28 remain. Rangers down by 9. A game in which they controlled until late in the first half. Since then, it's been back and forth. But late in the first half, the Bears were able to string a couple of scores together that put them up by 2 scores. 23-14, the advantage at the intermission. Both teams have traded scores since then. And so an applause from everyone here at Gustafson Stadium.
Yeah, and with both teams running the ball, you know, possessions are at a premium. I think this is only Smithson Valley's third possession of the second half. You know, went on a long scoring drive, and then after the turnover, wasn't able to capitalize. This is only the third drive. We got 4.5 minutes left in the game, and this is only their third possession. Both teams running the ball effectively, going on long drives, and so got to capitalize, you know, on momentum when you're not going to get a whole lot of possessions.
Appears to be Jonas Brewster, who was the injured Bear, coming off the field under his own power, so a good sign. Shoquist to hand off the first down at the 47 of Brennan. Again, the clock stops momentarily for the moving of the chains.
And again, the clock is ticking down, but we're not necessarily in the biggest of hurry here because we do have all 3 timeouts. So the most important thing is don't rush so much that you have some bad plays or you have a turnover. We got to get this score, but we're going to have 3 timeouts to give our defense one final chance to stop them.
2 receivers to Knutson's right, looking that way, under pressure, won't have a chance to let it go.
Coach Hill going to get a play call in here, not take a timeout, trying to save all 3.
Well, with that big sack, the Rangers now all the way back at their own 45. 2nd and 18. Need to get to the Brennan 37 roughly. At their own 45 now. Clock under 3.5.
Got one-on-one coverage with Haug.
Knutson up top, going to Haug. Overthrew him.
Had a little bit of pressure, had to get rid of it a little bit quicker than what he wanted to. Didn't have time to let that develop. We did kind of a double move. Haug has a height advantage on that corner, so you'd like to see him at the very least give him a 50-50 jump ball. But he had to let it go before he wanted to. Just a little bit overthrown. So, again, much like we talked about with Brennan, you got to pick up. You don't necessarily need to get all 15, 14 yards here, 18 yards. Get it to 4th and less than 10 so that you have a chance on 4th down.
Jaden Johnson, the defensive end for the Bears, getting to Knutson there. Slant, Haug, complete across midfield. So now 4th and 11 coming up. The Rangers are at the Brennan 48.
Able to get some of it back. Obviously, this is the ball game here. And don't forget, 3 timeouts, and now in the high school we have the 2-minute warning as well.
And a 2-minute warning.
So you'd like to get the score before that happens so that you essentially have 4 timeouts.
Clock is under 2:55. 4th and 11. Knutson back under pressure, steps up, lets it go out of bounds, intended for Haug. As mentioned several times by Brian, the Rangers do have all 3 of their timeouts, so Brennan will take over here at their own 48. There's 2:45 left on the clock, and in addition to those 3 timeouts, we have the 2-minute warning now. In case you're just joining us, and in case you haven't really caught much high school football this year, think the pros for the longest time, think college for the last couple of years. 2 minutes, 2nd and 4th quarter, the clock stops. Glass up the middle, near 1st down yardage.
You almost wish he'd have gotten a 1st down there. Now it's 2nd and short. If they get a 1st down here, that's kind of another 40 seconds. And looks like the play clock is 1 second ahead of the game clock, so they will have to run a play before the 2-minute warning.
2nd and 1 officially. And you see the Bears in their huddle in no rush to get up to the line. Whereas throughout this ball game, they've hurried up to the line and then gone from there. Decided whether they were going to keep with pace or call the play. There's the snap. I think that was Thompson. The play itself takes us under 2 minutes. And the clock stops at 1:55.
Result of the play is a 1st down.
Well, they're going to give Brennan the 1st down. We come back here on the Rangers Network for the final 1:55 of this ball game, Gustafson Stadium. We're back after this.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Jeremy Fuller State Farm, United Rentals, Lynx Roofing, Orthopedic Performance Institute, Frost Bank, The Branch, Chick-fil-A at Stone Ridge, Christopher Ashley Pools, Singer Services, Methodist Healthcare, and Wick Productions.
Week 2 of the high school football season, the 5A D1 defending state champ Smithson Valley Rangers down by 9 to Brennan, who is expected to also be one of the better teams in Greater San Antonio. The Bears usually are, especially over the last 10 years or so. A relatively new school. Took their licks for about a year or two, but ever since then, Steve Baser and this Brennan coaching staff and the coaches who've come through since have really put the Bears in a position where they're competing and going on long playoff runs on a consistent basis, as Glass on 1st and 10 gains a couple. Clock continues to run. No Ranger timeouts.
Yeah, Brennan, as I well remember last year, dropped the game to Brennan, and that was kind of, I feel like a turning point of the season a little bit. Obviously losing to Piper as well, but this is why you schedule these types of games. You know, we could schedule so where we can go undefeated in district and not really test ourselves and see what we need to work on. We play in a very, very tough district, and so playing games like this only helps you win or lose. Obviously, you'd love to win every game that you play, but at the same time, these games only get you better. Obviously, there's a lot of things that we got to work on all 3 phases of the game, but we're going to have some good game film to do it, and hopefully, some of the guys that are a little bit dinged up, hopefully they're back.
In second half of play.
So the Rangers take their first time out. 1:10 remains. The Bears will have 2nd and 3 when we resume play. And I think that's the thing, Brian. I think you hit it right on the head, is facing this kind of competition and kind of, you know, a chance to grow and see where you are in certain aspects, because not all games and certainly not all non-district opponents are created equal. And so this, a good test to see where you are as you are building in the early season and leading up to that all-important district play.
For sure. And, like you said, similar to last year, had a big win in the first week, come in a much tougher opponent. And Coach Baser and his staff, they do a great job. Brennan is very talented. They're very big on both sides of the ball, especially offensive line and defensive line in the trenches. But also they're very well coached. And they got good schemes both offensively and defensively. So it's a really good test for the Rangers on both sides of the ball. And hopefully, just like last year, a lot of things to improve on. And we only get better and make changes from here.
It's a Brennan team that went 10-2 overall in 2024, led by the man with the ball here, Caden Glass, who pushes forward for what appears to be a first down. And although the writing's been on the wall for the last minute and a half or so, that officially, not officially, but for all intents and purposes, does just about do it as the clock goes under a minute. Now, in going 10-2, Brennan lost to Reagan in the season opener. As we've talked about, was able to get the big win against the Rangers in Spring Branch in Week 2. They didn't lose again following that Reagan game until Westlake beat them in the second round of the playoffs. And in the bi-district round, the Bears were able to knock off the Reagan team that beat them to open the season. So the Bears 10-2 last year in what was supposed to be not really a rebuilding year, but it was one of the years in which they didn't start the year with loads of talent and experience. They were talented, but it was young talent. Well, this year, guys like Caden Glass, Makai Thompson, Donovan Laird, a year better.
Yeah, no doubt. And they showed it tonight. Their experience paid off on them. And again, Brennan as a whole, very, very impressed with them, but I can't tell you how much I was impressed with their quarterback Glass. Not only was he a dynamic runner, but for a guy who's not the biggest guy, he's such a tough runner as well. Hard to bring down. Multiple times throughout the game did we have guys in the position and running through tackles and picking up the extra 3 or 4 yards that don't seem like a whole, but all of a sudden you look up and it's 3rd and 2, and you feel like, man, I feel like we just made some pretty good plays, but it's 3rd and 2 instead of 3rd and 7. So hats off to the Bears. Great game. Smithson Valley will grow and learn from this just like they did last year, and hopefully we get out relatively healthy, and there's no time to hang your hat. We got another good opponent with Madison. I'm not sure how they play tomorrow, but they had a tight ball game with New Braunfels last week. I think they lost 35-31, so we're going to have another good 6A opponent next week.
Well, Brian Hill not only knows his football, he sure knows how to segue as well. Madison is next. We're going to see you then. It is next Friday back in Spring Branch, and we'll see you then on the Rangers Network. Until then, for Brian Hill and for all the wonderful folks here with the Rangers Network and with Wick Productions, we say good night on a night in which Smithson Valley falls just short, 30-21. A very good Brennan squad gets the W. The Rangers now at 1-1 with a chance for their second win of 2025 on September 12th against the Madison Mavericks. Until then, have a great weekend, everybody, and a great next week. Good night.